And what is up? Welcome back. It is Friday night, and you're here with the Average Boys Podcast. It's your boy ChrisP, and I'm here with my good co-host Trigger. What's up, my dude? Trigger, my boy. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. It's actually my birthday on Sunday.
Holy shit!
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Damn,
man.
you got an exciting life, dude. You're getting married, and then you're going on honeymoon soon, and now you're getting birthdays, and man, shit, man, the time of the life for you. So, what are you gonna do for your birthday?
Fucking go out to eat. I might go drinking tomorrow, which is crazy because I don't really drink all that much anymore.
It happens when you get older.
Yeah, like I drink like once a month, maybe.
I mean, you end up kind of casually just staying home and drinking. So,
yeah, but that's like the thing. Like, even when I do drink, I'm at home and it's once a month.
Excellent, man, excellent. So, how old are you gonna be?
I'm gonna be 32.
Damn, boy, man, I wish I was 32. Fuck, dude, the beginning of my 30s, I wish, dude. I fucking wish. It's been a crazy week. A lot of stuff has gone on in the world that, it kind of makes us sad because there are situations that are going on right now in the world, like the shootings and all that stuff. I know Chicago is going crazy right now.
Yeah.
And our hearts out to all those people that are dealing with that situation in their community. Down here where we live, we don't really get, I guess, like a lot of that type of a social status environment. It's very, I don't know. We're like the majorities down here. Minorities are the majorities down here. I mean, the Mexican community it's tight knit. Yeah, we're very close to each other. So I know, I want to say like what it was like last year or the year before when the two officers got shot in McAllen.
Oh yeah.
And of course, like our communities, like, they came together because it's such a small town and a small village kind of thing that, everybody kind of knows each other, but those bigger cities are having to deal with a lot of stuff. And it's kind of weird because if I'm not mistaken, I think Texas just passed a law where now you're going to be able to conceal carry without a license.
Yeah, this is the common sense law. They just passed it today.
But it's very weird because, when we were younger, it was always like that. Well, what's up, Indiegogo for the Rebel? What's up, man? I like that. Yo, yo, yo. Sweet stuff, sweet stuff. Growing up in the South Texas area, growing up in the real deep South, like, man, shit, it was almost like everywhere you went, someone had a truck with a nice little gun rack on the back, and you're just flaunting your rifles on the back window of your truck. And then all of a sudden that disappeared for a couple of our teenage years. And now I guess it's coming back because we're mostly all, ranchers and all that other stuff that's going on here. So I guess Texas keeping it down. I mean, I guess with the way the world is, it's kind of a scary situation because you don't know who to trust, I guess you could say, right? And you don't know who and who shouldn't have a gun.
But yeah, and that's kind of the thing, it's kind of like all right, like who's okay to have one of these sort of things.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, dude. Exactly what you mean. I just hope it works well and Texas stays Texas, man, supporting each other and being nice to each other and always having the next person next to you's back. Being very helpful. So hopefully we can stick together as a community and make this work. And we can be we can raise the bar on how people should be living life when it comes to, the community owning firearms and stuff. I hope. I really hope. We've had our problems in the past though. But other than that, the movie world's gotten, pretty crazy. I think we're coming up on which movie's coming up now. You just said that you were super excited. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, dude, Mortal Kombat. MK.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat's going to be coming up. That's really, really exciting. And I think the video game world too, man, there's some updates that are coming up for Monster Hunter. Resident Evil is going to be releasing a beta coming up, I think, next week?
Was it Cyberpunk just had a pretty big update, like a 25 gig update? Yeah, 1.2.
And then Warzone's about to have a super big update. They're about to blow up the map and do from what I've heard, it's supposed to be like a Fortnite kind of update. The Warzone map has been the same for the last like 5-6 years already. So it hasn't really changed. The only thing they've done is they've added zombies to certain parts of the map. But from what I've heard is They're gonna literally like just brand new map altogether. They're gonna blow up what it is right now. They're gonna, they're gonna initiate a lot of stuff, but I think it's kind of gonna initiate more of like the Cold War vibes. I feel like Sledgehammer and Activision, like they're gonna be following more of what Treyarch's been doing. Because Treyarch's kind of getting it right. And if you look at all the guns that are working out in Warzone, it's all the Cold War guns that are all the ones that people are using.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of excited for it, but the cheating thing is still super bad in that game, super bad. But what was that thing that you were telling me about Sony?
Oh, dude. Okay, so Sony is shutting down the PlayStation. Sorry, like the PS Vita and the PlayStation 3 section of the PlayStation Store. So like if you got on your PS4 or your PS5 right now and you tried to buy, let's say, like Mega Man Legends or something like that, or Legend of the Dragoon or the original Metal Gear Solid, you're not going to be able to. If you were to do that on your PlayStation 3, you'd be able to see that. You'd be able to see those games because they're PlayStation original games. Those will no longer be accessible. I think.
So they're just taking off the PlayStation.
Yeah, I think starting like June 1st or something like that, or maybe like June 1st or some shit like that.
So if you already have games in it, are you going to be able to still access it, or they're just not allowing you, or now they're allowing sales of the games anymore?
They're just not going to allow sales. So if you already have it,
so if you have your library, digital library,
I want to say yes, dude, but don't quote me on that. Like,
that would suck, dude. If you spend a bunch of cash and you just can't play.
Yeah. So as it is, I mean, I have my PS3 like not too far, and I'm just gonna download those games and be like, okay, well, they're there.
Yeah, just in case, man.
Yeah,
just in case. What was the other thing you were telling me about? Something about Capcom.
Oh yeah. So Capcom. So also Sony bought Capcom. So from what I'm hearing,
yeah, if you're not familiar with Capcom, Street Fighter, probably one of the biggest games. Devil May Cry, shit. Yeah, Monster Hunter. Yeah, I mean,
Mega Man.
Yeah, Mega Man's part of Capcom. Like that's a big buy for Sony. It's a really big buy for Sony, but at the same time, it's a big sellout for Capcom as a company. I wonder what was going on. With recent discovery, recent reveals, Street Fighter 5 has been doing a bunch of awesome shit, dude. A bunch of awesome shit. They just released a bunch of information about the upcoming update or the next season for Street Fighter 5, and they're bringing back a really, really deep cut character from Rival Schools. I don't know if you remember that game.
Vaguely.
It was from the Dreamcast, and what it was a school of like it had different clubs. Like different video game clubs, right? Or not video game clubs, but different clubs in the school. The baseball team, the athletics department, the educational department, the acting, or they had just different genres of different school people, and they just had them fight each other in a fighting game. It was super good, dude. Super good. And they brought in a character whose name is Akira, who was this like biker chick. And I'm super excited to see her in Street Fighter 5 because it kind of gives you the idea and the hope that they are going to bring back that game to the newer consoles. They're going to revamp it because Rival Schools was amazing, dude. It should have been an anime. They should have made an anime of it. What's up, Myers? How you doing, man? Marvel versus Capcom, Resident Evil. Well, Marvel wouldn't be technically Capcom, but Capcom would. But yeah, it's super exciting, man. Some retirement home pamphlets. Oh no, Triggs, you're getting old, buddy. Right, Kyle says someone needs to get you some retirement home pamphlets.
Oh man, and I'm feeling it, man.
You feel like your body's changing? You're growing hair in funny places. Your voice changing?
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, but good call on that, man. PlayStation 3. If you guys have your PlayStation 3 and you want to save a lot of the games that you used to have, make sure you get on before July 1st. Download a lot of the stuff that you want to keep, man, because they're gonna be cutting a lot of stuff off, man. A lot of stuff off.
Plus, speaking of Capcom is now shutting down the US online store.
Oh shit, that's a big move.
Coming May 1st.
Damn, that's pretty crazy. So they're not going to be doing really anything in America anymore. They're just going to be keeping it to Japan.
I guess, dude. But this is just the online store, so I mean, you'll be able to buy physical copies and stuff like that. But still, it's like super duper shitty.
Damn, I mean, it's still something crazy, man. Wow, that is super crazy. I didn't even know about that, but shit. I mean, of course, like a lot of people won't forget like what happened to Kojima with Konami, right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like I feel like it's the same thing. Or when Sega turned third party instead of making consoles. I don't know if you remember that. You might be too young for that.
No, I
No,
remember.
you shouldn't be too young. You know, that was like when you were in junior high or high school already.
Yeah.
You would have known some shit. Yeah. But Sega turned third party instead of making consoles. It got out of the console war, so it wasn't going to make any more Sega systems, and it just decided to stick with video games. So like maybe Capcom selling out to Sony saves them some cash so that they can bring out some stuff. There have been a lot of jumps in like the popularity in Resident Evil, as a matter of fact. I mean, just the other day they released information and it broke the internet because it was about the vampire chick.
Yeah.
They released her shoe size, dude, and that's what broke the internet.
I'm sure it's like a fucking 37 or some shit.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing for them to be like, "Hey, just in case you needed to know her foot size, here it is, guys." And it was like they released it and it broke the internet. People are going nuts for this. I'm kind of excited to see the numbers because Resident Evil in the last couple of years, like it does get some really good plays from streamers and stuff, but the sales to me haven't been as high as they normally would back in the day. But I want to see if the popularity of them bringing this kind of character in is going to make the video game more, I guess, more numbers or profitable, or I wouldn't know how to say it. It's just, I want to see, because the thing is they're going to release the beta in a couple of days. You're going to have to check for me when it comes out, but they're going to release a beta soon. And man, I would love to see the numbers, because you get a lot of people who say that they're gamers, but you know for sure that they're not. Life Through Lenses, what's up, man? How you doing, buddy? So it's very interesting to see what kind of numbers Resident Evil and Capcom are going to get as a company, but I wonder what this is going to do with them crossing over into Sony as a platform company. Like, I wonder what it's going to. Do you think it'll be sort of like the way it was with Disney and Marvel?
No, what I can see it happening a little bit more like, and this is just a like I kind of just heard this. I haven't like seen anything like official about it, so it may not even really be a thing. But let's say it does happen, I think it would be a little bit more like Capcom would stick to like Sony exclusives, kind of like how people think that since Microsoft acquired Bethesda, that a lot of their IPs are going to be Xbox exclusives.
Oh shit! So you think it'll just stick to Xbox?
I mean, it could, but you know, I hope it doesn't. You know, that's going to be kind of shitty. But I mean,
yeah, I mean.
But at the same time, I'm not gonna fucking cry about it too much, and the reason being is, well, I have both, so I don't care.
Yeah, but you know what? As a matter of fact, I want to say that you get a lot more exclusives on PlayStation, right?
There are a lot more PlayStation exclusives.
So,
in my opinion.
So, was Sony's Xbox or Sony's PlayStation?
Sony's PlayStation.
So it's gonna probably you're gonna probably end up with the merger of Capcom to Sony. You're probably gonna get more exclusives directly just to the PlayStation, not the Xbox, right?
Yeah.
The idea would be
the way that Microsoft had bought Bethesda, meaning like
they're going to exclusively have that just for Xbox.
Yeah, well, some of them they've already kind of stated that some of those IPs will be Xbox exclusives.
Wow.
Because I mean, the way that it is. Others won't be. They'll still be like multi-platform development.
Maybe we're in the verge of seeing a buying war between the two companies having more exclusives. Like, since it's kind of getting to that idea, like we talked about in our consoles episode, and we talked about how both the Sony PlayStation and the Microsoft Xboxes are kind of going more into almost touching where like they're jumping into the PC race, like the PC Razer gaming race. Because now you have your PlayStations and your Xboxes that are keyboard and mouse compatible. right?
Mhm.
So now they're making it to where your gaming system is a lot more like a PC, where the next thing is just for them to start making PC towers, and instead of calling them consoles, just make them their own, like a Razer style system.
Well, that's like a lot of people, and I cannot tell you how many people have already said that they're like, bro, if you get the fucking Xbox, you basically have a gaming PC.
Yeah, it's just a gaming
It
PC.
they're like it damn near does everything a gaming PC can.
Damn, that's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah,
To know
and
that it came from,
which is cool because like like people are not ever going to want to spend the kind of money that I have for a gaming PC, which is obviously completely understandable. No one should ever have to spend or should ever really need to spend anything close to what I have spent on my setup. Like
that deals with the passion. Like if you have a passion to want to have a PC,
yeah,
you're
no,
gonna put a lot
I
of
really
into it.
do. And and for the people who don't know, and I know that a lot of them do, and this, I almost always show my PC like every episode. But this took me about 2 weeks to do in its entirety. All the bends, all of the everything's. That was about 2 weeks. That was not fun. That was some scary shit. I had to like have my dad be like, okay, when I tell you bend it, like I'm gonna bend it and you hold it there. Just don't move where I tell if I tell your hand to stay here, make sure your hand stays there. That's it. And he's like, okay. And that's what I would do. Like I would just, I would, loosen my stuff and bend it, and okay, cool. And now let's cut it. Let's fucking make sure that it's all nice and soft. Okay, all right, it fits. I need it to right here. Okay, cool. Same thing. Don't move. And I had to like baby step my dad the entire time. But I mean, it was fun. Especially when I went through my leak test. And my leak test was just okay, and I was like, "Yep, I'll be fine. I'm gonna be okay."
Yo, so going on a side note, going back to what we were talking about last week on the show, have you had any change of heart on the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight? Your predictions?
So my predictions kind of stand. I think that I mean my predictions as of like last week were kind of like, all right, man, this really could go one of two ways. This could go like very, very well for Jake Paul. And he could just, you know, you can see that, like he puts in his work and he's gonna, give it his all. And he's actually going to take this fight seriously, and he's doing his thing, right? Ben Askren, on the other hand, like for him, I'm not gonna say that this is just another, this is just another Friday night for him. But at the same time, I mean, like, hey man, you're kind of out of your element, like no matter how you look at it, you are not a striker at all.
Bro, he looks super loose today at the weigh-ins.
I saw that.
Yeah, he
Saw
looks
that.
really loose. It looks like he's not in shape for the fight. Even to hear that Ben Askren was at 190, well, 194, 191.
Yeah.
I was super like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's heavy for this guy. He looks super loose. Um, yeah, I agree. We talked about it a pretty good amount last week. And I think the only thing that Jake Paul and Logan Paul too, the only thing that they don't have is the ring experience.
It's true.
They haven't had the opportunity to really be in there against people. I mean, I'm not going to deny the fact that they're not gym heroes. And what do I mean by that is like that they're in the gym every day, they're sparring with badass people and they're throwing down, and you get that vibe, you get that feeling, you can just fight all day in when you're in your environment. But when you have a crowd around you and you have cameras and you want to show off and you want to kind of do this stuff and your heart paces up, like that's also a different part of the game that a lot of people don't understand.
Well, it's not, and kind of to go on what you just said, man. Like Mike Tyson said, everyone has a game plan until you get punched in the
Until you
face.
get punched.
You know,
Yeah,
and
like it's one of those things.
and Ben Askren knows exactly what it's like to get punched in the face.
Oh,
A
dude, yeah,
lot.
he fucking took a flying knee, a
Like
full
me.
fucking knee to
Yeah.
the mouth. And you know
So
what's really crazy is he actually came out on Logan Paul's podcast
I
talking
heard.
about this fight, and he invited
Yeah.
him on and to talk about his brother fighting him and all this other stuff. And there was a lot of great talking points, And Logan Paul, as an adult, getting into the mixed martial arts and the boxing and the fighting combat sports, kind of agreed with him on some stuff when he was when he was talking about how, hey, well, my brother's been training for 3 years, and if you haven't gotten good at something in 3 years, you should just stop. And there was a lot of things that were said that were very important to the fight game, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
But the thing is if you don't get in there and experience it, there's a lot of things you're not going to be able to make it through. There's going to be a lot of things that you can't just imagine. You can't just be like, oh, yeah, I can use my imagination and tell you what it's like to be in front of a crowd of people fighting.
Yeah.
So, controlling your heart pace is one thing. That's the first thing that a lot of like beginner fighters understand, is because of the fact that when your heart pace is pumping because you're excited or your anxiety's up, your heart's going to pump faster. It's going to pump the blood faster, and the blood needs oxygen to be fueled. Sometimes you end up almost having like a small hyperventilation. That's what makes that first round. And you see a bunch of fighters get super exhausted off of the first round. But, like you look at someone like Conor McGregor, right?
Yeah.
That's like his biggest thing is he loses his gas tank by the round and a half. No matter what fight it's been, by round 2.5 or the 1.5, he'll go through the first round, and by the middle of the second round, he'll start to be super gassed out. And that's the thing. Like, I bet you Connor's in the ring. I bet you he's in his gym 7 hours a day. I bet you he puts in the time like a fucking monster. But there's just something about the competition and the hype that makes your anxiety go up, and it makes you hyperventilate and you start to freak out. And some fighters,
Mhm.
it just happens, dude. It just fucking happens. But
I mean, it
yeah, I
happens
saw
to
the
everybody,
weigh-ins today.
and it really does happen to everyone, whether it's a street fight or, just a regular old, or, you're going in and, you're throwing your rounds. But every fight that I've ever been in, like, yeah, you get that initial hype and, you're kind of like, all right, is this happening? Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? And then swing. All right, time to go to work.
Yep.
It's kind of one of those things where, like, Ben Askren has the experience to calm himself down. Hopefully, be able to calm himself down to not have something like that happen to him immediately. His biggest hurdle in all of this isn't going to be his technique. It's not going to, or actually it is going to be his technique. It's not, it's not going to be his cardio. It's not going to be, him being so new at boxing. It's just the fact that he's never done this. It's not it's not his kind of fight.
Yeah.
He's completely out of his element. And during the last press conference, Jake Paul was like, "Oh, but like, I could have chosen anyone else and give him the same opportunity, but I gave it to you, and and you're acting like a bitch." And so, like, it's kind of like one of those things, like, bro, like, you had forethought because they gave you a list. These are the people you should fight. These are the people you should fight later.
Mm-hmm.
And not to talk on the whole, Ben Askren Jake Paul fight for too long, because you and I can go for a while on this one.
Mm-hmm.
He's now saying that, like, bro, he's like, I can see the next 24 months me and Conor McGregor throwing. And I'm like,
well, I mean, if you think about it, like, Conor McGregor in boxing is 0-1.
yeah.
And if he wins this fight, then he's 1-0. Or no, he'll be 3-0. Yeah, he'll be 3-0 in pro because he's taken 2 fights before this.
Yeah.
Of course, one of them was against
Nate Robinson, and his first
one of them was a YouTuber, and the other one was like a basketball player who's never been hit before in his life.
Yeah.
Like he freaked the fuck out, dude. Like that kid. It's just so different, man. Like, cause that kid probably, I mean, for all the millions that basketball player guy made, he probably joined a gym and the coach was like, "Bro, you're super amazing, bro. You're amazing. You're not gonna get touched." And he just lied to him the whole time.
Yeah.
Like he just fucking lied to him the whole time, and he got him hurt. He got him, yeah, really hurt.
Dude, he got him embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, that's in most situations the 9 minutes of the fight game. Like, if you lose, it's pretty much embarrassing. But it's gonna be just as rough because I mean, if you think about it, when Ben Askren fought Jorge Masvidal, like he got embarrassed super bad. He was talking so much shit about Jorge, and Jorge just caught him in the first couple of seconds with a knee that he was practicing for 2 weeks because he knew exactly what Ben Askren was going to attempt to do.
Yeah.
Like he even showed videos of him doing that exact knee and practicing it because he knew exactly what his game plan was going to be. So like if there was an embarrassment, I mean, they even, that's what's really funny is that in the Logan Paul podcast, they even talk about that. And he's like, do people pick on you about it? He's like, yeah, dude, like I go and I'll coach my classes and like some of my 10-year-olds will talk shit about me, like in my wrestling classes. And he's like, I can't do much about them, but those little bastards, but when they turn into high school kids and they're right about to graduate, I could fuck them up in wrestling all day. So I was like, that's pretty funny, man, but that's the way it goes. Like to put yourself out in these kind of situations is you're allowing the world to kind of make fun of you. You're allowing for these people to come and talk shit about you. And like right now, the entire MMA community is kind of like, bro, you better not fucking lose. Like we're praying to God you don't lose because you're gonna make everybody in the MMA community look bad to this YouTuber kid. Because like there's a lot of people who want to touch base on this dude. There's a lot of MMA guys that want to throw him, man. There's a lot of MMA guys that want to throw down with Jake Paul and Logan Paul that want to just touch on him. And there's a lot of them that aren't gonna get the opportunity. But Ben Askren has, if I'm not mistaken, he retired from the fight game after the Jorge Masvidal fight.
Yeah.
Like, so he retired, he got surgery and all this other stuff. So it wasn't really about,
he retired after that.
Like, he wasn't really about doing MMA or doing, he was kind of like, yeah, I'm just done. Like, that was like Jimmy Flick, man. Jimmy Flick just retired and he just got a UFC, but he's going through so many like family problems because of his dad and him being like, kind of not being a part of his father's family. Like, shout out to Jimmy Flick, man. He's a fucking bright kid from Texas, dude, that went out into the UFC and did his game. And then he just retired on top, dude. He didn't make it to a championship in the UFC. He just fought a couple times. Like, but yeah, man, shout out to fucking Jimmy Flick, man. Straight up. Ben Askren, of course, like that guy had a great run, dude. A great run in his previous, before the UFC career. I think he had like, if you look back, he had like, I want to say like 20 something fights, maybe even 17, but they were all undefeated fights, never got knocked out, just tore everybody up in the division, got into the UFC and it was just a different vibe. And he lost a couple fights and he's just like, you know what? I'm going to retire right now, which was after the knee from Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah.
And then he got approached by this situation and he got approached for a lot of money. And he was like, why not?
I mean, he was also a title holder. You know,
that's what I mean. He had a great run. He had a great run before the UFC. So
even in
it's going to be an interesting fight. It really, really is, man. I'm really hyped about it. I'm excited. I wasn't as hyped as I was last week. I think last week I was like kind of but this week I'm a lot more hyped for it. I really want to see it. I don't know why, dude. I don't even know why I want to watch it. I just think it's going to be probably the worst boxing match I've ever seen. But I just want to see these two guys just swing at it. But yeah, man, good shit. If you're gonna watch this fight, people in the comments, if you guys are watching, let us know in the comments who you think is gonna win. Give us your predictions. I really want to know because next week, after it's all run and done, wait, is the fight next week or is it this week?
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, right? Yeah, because they did the weigh-ins today. That's right. If you guys have any predictions, let us know because I want to know. Because next week I'm gonna be talking shit all week. We're talking shit. We're gonna break down that fight like crazy next week. We can talk about it all week, man. I don't give a shit. That's gonna be a fucking funny fight. And not only that, if you guys are at it right now, LFA's throwing down tonight. If you have LFA, like LFA is gonna be where it's at. Gunner just fought earlier, which is a guy from the Valley. He trains up with Chadrick Turner, which is a good friend of mine from like the Houston area, and he put it down in his the prelim fights for Facebook. It was super good, super good. But yeah, LFA tonight, Legacy out of Houston. They'll be coming down to the RGV actually in July. They're gonna come down to the Burn Ogden Arena. So and hopefully I get my guy Aaron on the fight. Good. How are you doing? Hello. Yeah, we got comments. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the conversation that we were going to talk about. So I don't know if you've seen this yet, but it looks like Zack Snyder's in the news once again when it comes to making movies. So have you seen the trailer for his latest release and return to the zombie genre with Army of the Dead?
I have.
What do you think?
Dude, I like it, man. You know, it looks like a pretty decent movie. You know, it doesn't look like something that's going to be super duper shitty. My only thing is that Dave Bautista is in it, so that doesn't exactly give me a whole lot of confidence in the
acting world.
Yeah, like the acting so this is basic in my personal opinion, this is just going to be a shoot 'em up movie, and it's Expendables but with fucking zombies in it.
Yeah, I can see that. It's going to kind of like the Hotel Artemis.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it kind of reminds me of already. If you even look at just the posters by themselves, some of the posters graphics design are very Suicide Squad.
Very
Suicide Squad-ish. Very lot of pastel pinks and greens, neon colors. It looks pretty fun. It looks like a fun shoot 'em up. But it's been a while, man, that Zack Snyder's been in it by himself. If I'm not mistaken, this isn't with like a big production company like the way it was with DC. This is kind of like him going back, being like that solo casual director by himself, writer almost. And Zack Snyder isn't very well known for his writing.
No, that's why he has people do it for him, dude. You know, that's literally why he has people do it for him. And,
so we were talking about this before, but this isn't the first time that he's been in the zombie genre before. He actually was kind of like one of like the first premier artists when it came to the newer variations of zombies, when him and James Gunn attacked Dawn of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead, yes.
Which was back in 2004. Super fun movie. It was based on the old school Dawn of the Dead movies. Really revolutionized a lot of the stuff when it comes to like video games being like zombies in malls and shit. Like I want to say that's where it like all started off with like what's that one video game that Capcom has where it's like in a the one that the dude dresses up as Mega Man and shit. It's not Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead's from PC, but the other one.
Oh yes.
He's like a photographer. Yeah. He came out of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Fuck.
That kind of like, even with Left 4 Dead also. Dead Rising. There you go. Yep. Like it kind of like the movie Dawn of the Dead kind of revolutionized the idea of a bunch of people like packing into a mall and just making it work. You know, and man, I really did like that movie back in the day, man. It was probably one of my favorite zombie movies. But there were some parts about that movie that they were a little corny, I guess you could say. I think you and I talked about it too, which was the baby part.
Yeah.
And it kind of really moved away. Like it's like Oz says. He mentions George Romero. He says, mentioning zombie movies makes me want to watch my George A. Romero movies. Well, George A. Romero and I forgot who it was, but back in the day, Tricks, you're going to have to look this up. But there was a really big battle of the Living Dead, the title screen. There was someone who fought for the title for the beginning of it and the ending of it. And that's why there was a lot of like Night of the Undead, Day of the Undead, and then there was Of the Living Dead. So there was a really big like a dispute between George A. Romero and this other guy. I just can't remember who it was. But if you ever look at the way these newer zombie movies, there's no way that it's based on the way it was with George A. Romero. George A. Romero's zombie stories were they were grounded very well. Like if I'm not mistaken, like the first black and white Night of the Living Dead film, it dealt with, like, there was a little bit of talk about like the racist mentality of it, right? Like the idea of like them talking about racism, which was at the end when they killed the black man.
Yeah.
And he was like the only survivor. But there was a lot of like keys that he would put in like social, like situations that we're having at the time. But like nowadays, like you said, a lot of these zombie films are more like sci-fi shoot 'em ups. And a lot of the visuals of this movie kind of remind me of the last Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
Do you remember that, where they were like on that weird tower and they're flying the plane? And there's a lot of like this weird, I mean, well, even even that part of the movie where they have the airplane on the top of the roof and they like drop it off and they start the plane midair and then it takes off and all this stuff. Like, man, dude, there's a lot of shit that just didn't feel good when it came to it. It was a little over the top. And that's what I kind of get a lot from this trailer. There's a lot of there's a fuckload of over the top. A fuckload of over the top. So
yeah, that's why I was kind of just like, dude, this is just going to be Expendables with zombies in it.
I don't
expecting out of this movie.
I don't want to shit on the idea of someone taking a chance on changing the genre up a little bit, right?
Okay,
because it's always the same
case,
stuff.
If that's the case, give me a better fucking trailer.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because you've showed me Expendables with zombies in it.
Yeah, because you know what? Like, do you remember how? Because I don't know if it was for you the same way it was for me, but when I Am Legend came out, it was kind of like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, but I Am Legend is just good all around. Like that had a really solid story with a great a great front runner. Sardine Gang.
Oh yeah.
And
we're getting a raid from Twitch. What's up, dudes? Sardine Gang. Cool, man. Welcome to the chat.
They're Sardine. And yeah, dude, and people like had emotional investments in the characters, like the dog being one of them. Like I have a friend who refuses to watch that movie
because the dog dies, right?
Because of the dog dies.
Yeah, that's super hardcore. But I don't feel like it's gonna get as serious as the way I Am Legend was.
Exactly. I'm not expecting it to.
Yeah, I'm not expecting it either.
Not expecting
but you know what? Like, I feel like Dave Bautista's gonna act like it is.
Oh yeah, well, because I mean it's Zack Snyder, dude. Zack Snyder's coming off the fucking high of his Snyder cut, and so everybody's just gonna be like, yes.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Okay, so from interviews and stuff like that with Zack Snyder, he talked about how this movie was about 11 years in the making. It was about 11 years that they wrote the script back, and the story's been kind of like tight in that 11 years. But when they released it, there was actually like a really bad leak on Reddit where they released the entire script. And for what the trailer was worth, a lot of people who got to read that side script kind of saw that there was a lot of similarities from the script to the trailer that they kept, because there are some really bad things that are in that script that are written that make the movie sound like super shit, dude. One of them, of course, the idea of them having intelligent zombies isn't something new. It's not something new to the genre. Like having to where the zombies are a hive mind, right?
Yeah.
But to see zombies that are like on horseback, like that they are a little bit more where they're planning, I don't know, like what is it called? Like ambushes and things like that. Kind of takes away from the idea of what the zombie genre really is. Because like when you look at the zombie genre, it's always about these slow, like dim-witted character things or whatever you want to call them. They eat people. They don't tire. That's the scary part about zombies already. Is it's an infection that just takes over the entire nation. And yeah, dude, like it's a very weird thing to go and say, hey, well, you know what? Now we're gonna have a character that doesn't tire when it runs. It doesn't feel pain. If you shoot it, you can only shoot it in the head. But now it's like, now you're gonna say that now it's like coherent and now it's thinking and now, I mean, they already, okay. So as a matter of fact, like Oz, he just mentioned 28 days later, right? Or 28 months later.
Mhm.
Like that film already is like probably the scariest notion when it comes to zombies. The zombies in
28
what
days
was it?
later.
Max Brooks's not Zombie Survival Guide, but World War Z. Right?
Oh, okay.
The World War Z zombie has always been probably one of the scariest variation of zombies out there. And the reason why, of course, because if you're familiar with Max Brooks, he wrote this very, very good book back in the day called The Zombie Survival Guide. If you have not picked it up, I highly, highly recommend The Zombie Survival Guide. It is a very cool satire book on how to survive the zombie apocalypse, but it's very, very clean on what you got to do. Triggs, have you ever read The Zombie Survival Guide?
Yeah.
Dude, it is so fantastic.
Actually, I think, no shit, I think I have it.
Yeah, I
my
mean,
room.
dude, it's such a cool book. Like, it is such a cool fucking book.
Actually, give me like 30 seconds, dude. I really think
30 seconds.
Yeah.
We're going to watch it because we can see your book in the back.
Yeah.
So, like, The Zombie Survival Guide was a book written by Max Brooks, which is Mel Brooks' son, right? Which is the guy from Spaceballs and all that stuff back in the all the comedy stuff. He wrote this really fantastic book that breaks down literally how to survive. And I'm not meaning like in the sense of this is a fictional story. You have 30 seconds and counting, Big Flop. Bog Flop, you got to just count. Just start counting for him. Oh, look, there he is. Yeah, dude, you found it? Yo, legit, bro. Okay, so this book, fucking heaven sent. It literally breaks down in so many different ways. Like, okay, first, if I'm not mistaken, the zombie virus that's in it is called like Solarum or Solanum or something like that. And it literally breaks down the speed and how a zombie walks, how to shoot him, how to stint, how to scrimmage for food in an urban environment. It is very fucking thorough on how to survive. It is so great. And you literally find it in like the DIY section of Barnes and Nobles. It would never, at the time when it first came out, it wasn't in the sci-fi. Like, so yeah, look, like I'm telling you, like it's so crazy. It breaks down weapons, it breaks down how to clean them, how to break them down. It's so good. Teaches you about which weapons, like a lot of people will say, oh, you know, make sure you have a samurai sword. And people are like, well, no, get a machete, dude, because it's a lot cheaper to get. The metal's easier to fix and it's easier to sharpen. Yeah, it's like a crazy DIY how to survive book. It's so good. It's so good. And then from there, you had the making of the second book, which was called World War Z, which was the movie of Brad Pitt, which was, I want to say like 2013, 2014, Triggs?
Probably even earlier, you know.
Yeah, probably before that. Maybe even 2015. I wouldn't even doubt 2015. 2015 was a crazy year.
Dude, 2013.
Yeah, you see I was close. Yeah, dude, I was super close. But World War Z, there's a really, really cool excerpt that's on the back of the Zombie Survival Guide, which is live accounts, right, in history of actual like encounters with zombies. And Max Brooks is very good in his history in the sense of tying historical documents that are found in history to zombies. So what he does is he takes that kind of like writing that he did with the ending of the book and kind of satiring it to world history. And he makes it to where an actual zombie apocalypse happens, which is, I believe, a record 4. I think it's like he has them in certain degrees, and it's like a degree 4, which is like a catastrophic world-ending event for zombies. And it's all the different nations figuring out ways on how to survive, which is like the Battle of Yonkers. Like there's one in New York, there's one in Japan. There's a really great story of a general in Japan, or a guy in Japan who becomes the general of the zombie fight, well, the army that fights against the zombies. But he was a survivor of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And he was part of the culture that people were very like, wow, you didn't die with that. Like, wow, you're garbage. Like you were shunned upon in the culture for not dying during Nagasaki and Hiroshima situation.
Yeah, dude.
And it talks about it. He talks about like how it was very hurtful for him and how he always felt like his existence was like almost tarnished. But then he finds himself later during the Zombie Survival Guide or during the World War Z story. It's so good, so good. But going back to the idea of what Zack Snyder is trying to do, you take the idea of the zombie and you can kind of tweak it a little bit, right? From it being like a slow moving creature that you can only shoot by destroying its you can only kill it by destroying its brain. They make it to where like, okay, cool. Now the zombies have full cognitive movement. They can climb, they can run, they can jump higher, they can run faster, but they just need to eat. It's always in the culture of like they need to eat, right? They need to eat the flesh. Now, in the story of the Zombie Survival Guys, I believe it says the reason why the zombies crave flesh is because the bacteria or the virus itself strives off of living bacteria or off of living cells. So it constantly has to go after something that's living. Since it goes into someone's body and it kills them and turns them into a zombie, all its cells or whatever are dead, and it has to keep on getting at the people that are still alive. I guess that's the idea of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now it's a little bit different, man. The script, when it got released, there's a lot of the idea is, how do you get to the idea of there being an army of the dead? So in the trailer, you could see blatantly that there is cognitive zombies, that they know what they're doing. They are almost like a militia of zombies that are coming together to fight the humans. They've almost taken over Vegas from what it looks like. It looks like Vegas has been quarantined off.
Yeah.
And that's where Sonata, the guy that's playing Scorpion, is in it. He's the guy that wants the money from the casino.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, Hiroyuki Sanada.
Yeah, he's in it. So I love that guy.
Oh,
so
dude,
that's why I'm super excited about the movie. So
A1, dude. That guy.
Yeah, I'm
so
super
good.
excited. He plays the rich guy that's hiring Dave Bautista's ragtag group of either ex-cons or ex-military or ex-Fast and the Furious franchise members, or whatever they are.
They're family.
He hires them to try to reach a vault that's in the bottom of one of the casinos in Vegas. I believe they're offering them $5 million. Is he offering like $5 million? And overall, there's like 20 something $million. So Dave Bautista starts to wrangle up a bunch of like, I guess like his old crew. And he brings them all together so that they can rob a bank. So it's literally like Zombies versus Ocean's 11, I guess you could say. But Smoking Aces version or Expendables version.
Exactly, dude. It's Expendables meets zombies. Like that's like, dude. I'm gonna fucking die on that hill. It's
You're like, this is my theory.
Yeah, it's Expendables meets fucking zombies.
But you know what? Like there was some pretty like, okay, so when they released the script, the weirdest thing was what was going on with the zombies, right?
Yeah.
So in the script, there's almost this weird, I don't want to say rapey. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I'll say that. There's like these weird rapey vibes that the zombies are kind of taking the female characters and are, I guess, fertilizing them to have zombie babies. And then the zombie babies, like, because there's one of them where they capture or they fight like a child zombie. The doctor, which is one of the characters, which I believe is played by, what's his name? I'm looking at the casting sheet right now. His name is so hard to say, dude. Mathis Schwigfar. He's the white dude that's in the video with the bat. So he's like super blondie. I think he plays a doctor, if I'm not mistaken. That's my guess. He's gonna play the doc. He looks like a doc. He dissects the zombie in the casino, and he ends up finding out that the zombie that he cut up has like an accelerated growth that's in him. So it looks like the zombies are actually growing faster when they're born, and that's how they're able to make the zombie. But This is supposed to be like, I'm gonna probably push that Zack Snyder's pushing for some type of trilogy. Because it's very weird that off of the heels of, first off, the Snyder cut, which he's not gonna get no trilogy of.
No,
right?
which sucks, but
Slowly and surely, Snyder from the marvelous movie 300, then to Watchmen, then to like all of these other little movies that he's been making that have not been hitting as hard as those. Like, I kind of feel like he's just trying to hold on to something, and he keeps going to like these different genres, and they do not hit correctly. And I feel that the idea of having rapey zombies is not gonna fly, dude. So like, I really, really hope they did not stick with that idea. But even with the idea of like zombies on horseback, I mean, don't get me wrong, like tiger zombies sound scary as fuck. But like a zombie riding a horse, telling people where to go, like if it does not have the Army of Darkness kind of vibe comedy to it, I feel like it's not going to work.
I know that it will. Will it be a good Army of Darkness?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
because like we are long overdue for like a good Army of Darkness horror comedy, like satire. We're long overdue for it.
Mm-hmm.
Even like that's why in the superhero world, like Invincible and The Boys, that's why those kill so hard. Because we've been in that genre for so long that we take it so good, like it takes itself so serious that the moment we get that one like Boys episode that has Homelander fucking pissing off the side of a building and screaming that he's the man, like we laugh at that shit and we eat it up because it's so away from the genre. Like, I just feel like if this does not, I don't know, I feel like if it doesn't hit, it's going to be a major flop. Like 100%, this is going to be like the Suicide Squad version of a zombie movie.
It honestly, I'm calling it now, and it probably will be.
You think so? You don't even think with the cinematography, because the cinematography in the commercial is really good,
bro. The cinematography in
with the Snyder cut.
No, in Green Lantern wasn't all that bad, and that movie 6.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't, but yeah, it still sucks. Samurai versus Zombies would be a good film, man. As you called it there, dude. If you want a good sentiment zombies, here we go. What does he say? If you want good sentient zombies, it's got to be like a high fantasy style movie. High fantasy style movie. What do you think of that? Well, that's kind of like what we're talking about, where like if they don't do the Army of Darkness kind of vibe, where like let's say in the core of the hotels, like in the very basement of Vegas, there is a cult pit that made this zombie apocalypse happen, and they got to fight some Degridge of the Dead kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if it goes like that, like let's say, okay, because if you go back to the trailer, the female zombie that's screaming for the zombies to come is almost wearing like a crown, right? So like if you get this vibe that's like very Queen of the Damned, or like a character like that, like an Egyptian mummy that comes back and is in control, like I feel like it could work. I feel like it would be like humanity versus this weird like Evil Dead fantasy realm world kind of thing going on. And it being on Netflix, dude, like not being that it's going to be like in the theaters, I think it kind of gives them this really nice like pillow to kind of mess around with the genre.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man. I mean, dude, for fuck's sake, The Walking Dead is still around, and that's like beating a dead horse, dude.
That should have
ended a long time ago, man.
Yeah,
that should have ended a long fucking time ago.
Oh my god, dude! And I love Robert Kirkman, but I love Robert Kirkman for Invincible. I don't love him for The Walking Dead. And now,
you know what? I'll say it, dude. During the Walking Dead comic book run, it was really good.
I heard, like, I've heard that. As a matter of fact, somewhere in all of that,
and even like right now, I was partially excited for them to get into the Whispers episodes of The Walking Dead, because I like the idea of them taking that weird psycho kind of like, hey, well, we're gonna skin zombies and wear them like masks and hide amongst them. like lucha masks of zombie faces.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh fuck, that's really dark. Like, let me see how this plays out. And you know what? It played off very well in the comic. And I just don't think it played off very well in the TV show, but that's because of all the extra shit that they put in the show. Of all the extra shit. And then them killing off Carl and them taking out Rick Grimes. Like, there was just a lot of things that the show did that just kind of like I feel like when they took Rick Grimes away from the show, I think it was the actor being like, "Oh, I don't really want to be a part of this shit anymore. Like, just take me out." And they just like they took him away in a helicopter to make it really ominous. Like, oh, maybe he survived or whatever. I just feel like the actor was like, "Fuck this show. I don't really want to be a part of it anymore." Like 100%. I just feel like but it's because they didn't want to kill off Rick Grimes because he's still a character in the comic book. They can't really go that far from that character. Like, I think just recently he just came back in the comics. Like, it's very, very crazy. But, you know, with that kind of sense, The Walking Dead's kind of had, you know, a very, very long run. So, yeah, but I really don't, man, Oz, I would really, really, I wouldn't even know what they would do with this character because they've already done as much as they can with the Rick Grimes character in The Walking Dead.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Just let it die. You know,
yeah, just let it die out, man.
You know, it has served its purpose for bringing a community together, for bringing the fandom together, for bringing in new zombie, you know, fanatics and stuff like that, which is great. Great. You know, you always want to expand, you know, your fan base.
Yeah, of course.
You know, same thing with us. You know, we're always looking to expand our fan base. We just got rated, you know, on Twitch, which is like I've never experienced that before.
That's funny.
That's fucking cool. You know, and so you know you're always kind of like, oh, okay, cool, man, like that just happened. And now you're kind of like, all right, man, you know, like, but I'm finished with this part of what I was gonna do. Now it's time to move on to the next project.
Well, you know what? This is a very good reminder in the sense of like the superhero community. Like, I wouldn't mind with the way the superhero community's grown in the last like 10 years when it comes to the filmmaking and how they've pushed the genre and they kept going on and on and on to where right now you have so many different variations of superhero movies. Like, you could see a comedy, a horror, a straight up drama dedicated to superheroes. Like, they have very different subgenres in that genre of film. I hope that they could do that with the zombie genre. I really, really do, because horror needs it, man. Horror has been in such a rut when it comes to making film that a lot of people can't even tell the difference between suspense and horror.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, with the idea of this film, I really hope that they kind of, you know what, Kyle's correct. I kind of feel like he hit it right on the button when he says that for this to work as a good sentient zombie movie, it really does need to kind of sit in like a fantasy genre. It needs to have that weird mystical kind of vibe to it. It can't just be like your typical like zombie bite, virus, zombies just naturally turn. Like, I just feel like it's not going to work that way. Like, I feel like I Am Legend hit that style of storytelling a lot better than a lot of other stories can. But I feel like you can't just stretch that too long. Because you look at Shaun of the Dead, and Shaun of the Dead was wanting that concept where you could find a cure and bring your friends back to life. So a lot of them were like, well, let me tie up my friend by a chain and just keep him around, which was the character, the best friend, Simon Pegg's friend.
Mm-hmm.
Remember at the end, he gets changed into a zombie and he just kind of like, he just chains him up and he plays video games with him and hangs out with him and shit. I guess because the idea of like those zombie movies where they feel like they can bring someone back, but I Am Legend hit it in such a different way, and it was such an amazing book that I really hope that this story ends up kind of not being as plain as the script was, because the script that they released, that they leaked, was super bad. Like, it got really dumb, and I really hope it doesn't fall that way. But you know what? As a matter of fact, Oz just put up a very good post, which is Last of Us post-apocalyptic, right? Dude, did you hear that they just got Gabriel Luna as Tommy from Last of Us for the movie?
Yeah, man.
Dude, that's going to be great. And he's going to be working with Pedro Pascal.
Yeah,
And even Pedro Pascal's going to be the main character.
Yeah, he's going to be Joel. I forget who they're going to have as Ellie.
I don't know yet, man. I want to see what
they've announced. They've announced. Yeah. Dude, it's the fucking. Dude, it's the girl who dies by the frozen giant. Like he like crushes her, right? And she kills it. Dude.
Fucking
Mormont. She was the head of the Mormont family.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I never saw Game of Thrones, dude. So Easter egg.
Guess what?
Easter egg. Here's a crispy Easter egg story for you. Never saw Game of Thrones. I couldn't get into it with everybody banging their sisters and cousins and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, this is gonna be left for the berserk people. But yeah, dude. Shoot, fucking big shout out to Gabriel Luna. I'm a huge fan of Gabriel Luna, so congratulations to him. And working with Pedro Pascal, which is probably one of the coolest, most popular actors right now in the market for his representation in The Mandalorian, and then coming out in Wonder Woman 1984, like just awesome. But yeah, dude, yeah, fucking A. So yeah, dude, Zack Snyder coming back. It's gonna be a great. I mean, for what it's worth, it's gonna be a good shoot 'em up at least.
Yeah.
But let's just hope that it, like we said, it has a little bit more delve into fantasy. Let's hope it doesn't take itself too serious. Because I feel like if it takes itself too serious, it's gonna really mess up the movie. But yeah, Army of the Dead, dude. When's the release date for this Netflix show?
May 21st.
Okay, so it's coming up like what, next month?
Next
month. And which is gonna be about a month away from the release of a movie you're super excited for, which is Mortal Kombat.
The MK, dog.
Mortal Kombat, my homie. Dude, did you see that they released that the kind of like a teaser fight between him and Scorpion, Sub-Zero and Scorpion?
Yes, dude. Oh my god. I'm so excited because you get to see like Joe Taslim as Bihan fighting against Hiroyuki Sanada, who we were just talking about. And these guys are just martial artists. These guys are martial artists who happen to be very, very, very easy to choreograph in high intensity action sequences like this. And it's just so nice to see this. And they just have an all-around cast that cares about the martial arts, which was, I mean, obviously exactly what Mortal Kombat was in the very beginning, just a martial art based fighting game, and it was so good. It's so good. The girl who plays Sonya Blade is like the funniest characters in a show called Siren, and it is so fucking funny. She's a cop, ironically, in the TV show, and now she's an SF operative in the movie, and it's so cool, dude. I love that they have a lot of named martial artists in this, like Ludi Lin, the guy who plays Cole Young. I forget his goddamn name off the top of my head. He started as a stuntman. Let me look this guy up real quick.
And you know what? A lot of them were like, they kind of made their prominence with the stunt world, like on YouTube.
Yeah, Louis Tan. And yeah, Ludi Lin being one of them. Ludi Lin had a YouTube channel. I think he still does, where he just did a lot of stunt work. And Ludi Lin actually was the Black Ranger in the new Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Louis Tan was the brother of one of the Barons in Into the Badlands. Hiroyuki Sanada is just, he's the samurai in every samurai.
In every fucking martial arts movie that has a samurai.
Yeah, it is him. Him in the Wolverine was just, I mean, a beautiful sword work.
Well, in Endgame also.
Oh yeah. Granted, his sword work in Endgame was like 10 seconds. But still,
but every movie that guy touches where he plays like a samurai character, like he kills it, man.
Yeah.
The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise is probably like his golden role. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was an amazing film, beautifully made, and he just does such a great job with his acting career. Like just his characters and stuff are super amazing.
Oh yeah. and he cares about like his craft, which is obviously an amazing thing. You should, especially as a martial artist, you should always care about what you're doing. He has the discipline to do things the way that the directors are asking him to do it. Give his feedback. And then Joe Taslim, at the same time, an Indonesian judo fighter. He came out in The Raid. He's come out in several other movies as well. He comes out, I think, in a show called Warrior on HBO.
Kyle. The Last Samurai cemented him as the samurai guy. Yeah, pretty much, man. He's going to get typecasted a lot, but it's because you want to know what's very, very impressive about that genre of film is that you have to go to a specific theatrical school to learn how to do samurai sword acting. So, like, he's probably one of like the prominent stuntmen for when it comes to samurai stunt film work. And that's super amazing, man. That's super awesome to put on your resume. That's so cool. But you know what? I have to go back to a comment that was literally written like 4 minutes ago because Oz hit it right on the button because I was just thinking about this today. I think they should make a Horizon Zero Dawn movie with the actress that plays Kali from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier as the main character. Dude, as Alloy.
Yeah,
you're talking about
the girl who plays Carly. Would be perfect for Alloy.
Dude, she would kill that role. She would kill it, dude. She's super amazing in the Winter Soldier and Falcon right now. I love that show so much. We're going to be talking about it in a little bit, actually. So we're going to probably jump into that maybe in about.
Her name is Erin Kellyman.
Yeah, Erin Kellyman. And she's so good at what she's done. Dude, 22 years old.
Yeah.
22 years old and has already starred in a Star Wars movie and a Marvel movie.
She was also in Les Mis, dude.
Les Mis, yeah.
Les Mis, dude. Jesus. No, man, she's got some chops in it.
Yeah, she's got some acting chops, and that's why I believe that she's in there. That's why I believe that these companies are just getting at her like so fast. But yeah, definitely. But yeah, guys, by next month, you're gonna have Army of the Dead by Zack Snyder. Let us know what you guys think. Actually, you know what? Like, it was very impressive because we were talking about this earlier today, but there was some controversy on that film too, with one of the actors that got replaced. His name was Chris D'Elia.
Oh, Chris D'Elia?
Yeah, Chris D'Elia. He got replaced by this character named Tig Notaro, and Tig Notaro is a comedian, a very, very slapstick comedian. The person is the pilot in the story. So you'll see them putting gasoline in what it looks like a helicopter. Very Terminator, the mom from Terminator.
Yeah.
Very short hair. Very short hair.
It's super funny, man, because I think she turns into a zombie, and I think they show that in the trailer, which is like, okay, spoiler.
Okay, so that's the thing. I believe, because in the script, I think that's in a part of the script where like they lose control of the helicopter or the way that they're coming in or where she's coming in, and she has to kind of like hide amongst the zombies. So she ends up dressing like a dead Elvis. What's up, Ron? How you doing, man? Yeah, so like I don't know if she's dead at that scene, but if she is, that's a huge spoiler.
Like something falls on her, and
yeah, there's like a tower falling on her. Dude. Yeah, I was like, geez, man.
Spoiler
Zach's literally giving us the whole goddamn movie, dude.
Right?
But yeah, that's that girl or that lady, or out of respect, whatever the person goes by, their pronouns. But yeah, that's the part of the movie. And I could have sworn that it was that person too. I was like, wait a minute, isn't this person in the group? Why are they dressed up as Elvis amongst zombies? Are they trying to escape? Like, I don't know if it was like a big sellout of the movie or if they're already just kind of like giving us a big chunk of like a spoiler or something, but I really hope not. But she was the replacement for Chris D'Elia, right?
Yeah, she's Chris D'Elia's replacement.
So who is Chris D'Elia and what happened to that guy?
So why did they replace him? So Chris D'Elia is a very, very well-known comedian. He's super, super funny. He is also kind of a fuckboy. Like he is known to be a fuckboy. That's kind of his shtick in a lot of his comedy bits. And like a lot of his like comedy shticks are, kind of tasteless when it comes to like girls and stuff like that, and like fucking and stuff like that. It's a shtick, so whatever. But he had some sexual allegations against him involving girls that were underage.
Yeah, minors.
So,
and stuff.
sexual allegations such as rape and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Very ironic is that in the show season 2, he actually comes out and he's a predator. He's a child predator. And
Oh wow.
yeah, and so like people were like, fucking perfect role for you, bro. And they shit all
Oh, they were
over
talking. Everybody
yeah,
just started tackling
yeah,
the shit.
and so he's come out and he's put out an apology and stuff like that, saying, the regular celebrity thing, I'm getting treatment, I'm getting help, blah 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 blah.
Charities. And things.
What the fuck ever. Yeah, I mean, and you and I have spoken about this 100 fucking million times on our shows. Is we really hate cancel culture, but with shit like this, dude, like you can't stand for it.
Yeah, of course.
You can't let this be like, oh man, well, you fucked up. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe this. Like, no, dude, you knew exactly what the fuck.
Yeah.
Like, he straight admitted, like, dude, I would cope with anxiety with sex, and I didn't give a fuck, and it was bad. Sure, like I would go to a city and girls would just hit my DMs, and after my show, I'd be like, yo, meet at room 403.
Yeah, and it kind of correlates with the stuff that the people that were accusing
Yeah.
him of the situations it correlated very well. So he's going through a couple lawsuits. The guy's a big piece of shit. So I'm glad that it's coming down on him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a funny piece of shit, but yeah, he's a piece of shit.
I mean, it goes back with the R. Kelly thing, man. Like, I mean, the guy can make music, but he's still pissed on a kid.
Yeah, he's fighting for his life, dude. He's fighting for my life.
Fighting for my life. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad they got rid of him. They brought in someone else. I hope that the person brings, a better case to the show and the movie.
I've actually seen this person's. I don't think I've seen their stand up, but I've seen them in other things.
Yeah,
and I remember this particular actor being very funny, and can carry a comedic role. But this is yet again, dude. I mean, like you said, this fucking poster is classic Suicide Squad.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you saw it, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so this is going to be a comedy, shoot 'em up with zombies.
Yeah, pretty much. And then everybody's going to have their classic role that they have to play.
No, dude, honestly, what I'm expecting is like the stupid fucking one-liners. Just the
wow,
like ahead of the class.
Yeah, some stupid fucking one-liners. Like oh yeah, what's the one from Shaun of the Dead? Oh, I put him in a freezer, and I was like, "Why don't you chill out?" or some shit like that.
Yeah,
it's just a stupid one-liner. Oh, dude, I love those guys, dude. Simon Pegg, dude, I love those guys. But yeah, man, like we said, like Kyle actually said, we really think that if it goes into the the fantasy genre, I think it'll save this franchise. You could really push it for a couple more episodes and stuff like that. But we really hope that it comes out good. Having a new zombie movie, Train to Busan was probably the last one that was like super, super solid for me. So having another badass, like I guess a shoot 'em up zombie wouldn't be too bad, but if they do into the fantasy and the magical role, kind of feel like it'll really work. Yo, man. So first off, initial reactions to episode 5 of the Winter Soldiers without spoilers. What did you think? Holy shit.
I will put this into 2 words, and these 2 words are a name. Snake Plissken.
Yo, you know what? When you told me about that really opened up some old wounds because I love Metal Gear Solid and Escape from LA and Escape from New York.
Plissken.
Russell.
Dude, yes. Loved it, bro.
There were a lot of really good nods from
Daddy Russell, dude.
Wyatt,
yeah.
Wyatt Russell. Yeah, dude. And again, fucking killer performance from every fucking actor in that show.
Yeah, I think from the the Bucky Barnes confrontation with who he ends up meeting with later on, with the fight scene with all three of them. It's in the trailers, so I'm really not spoiling anything. To just the monologues between the families, the everybody was just in a stellar performance. Wyatt Russell, I've only ever really known Wyatt Russell in the last Goon movie that came out.
Okay.
And I believe it's on Netflix. And he's this asshole hockey player, and
Goon.
and so that's what I know him from. And I mean, I saw him as like an asshole in that one. He didn't really act all that well, and he was with Sean William Scott and some other B-list actors and stuff like that. And it was kind of like, all right, man, whatever. And now seeing him in this as John Walker, dude, it's just perfect for his character right now. He is so good at what he's doing. He is just a fucking dedicated actor who I think actually gives a fuck about his role in what he's doing. He's treating it with respect. Unfortunately, his father's role was very short-lived and extremely unimportant in the overall landscape of things. And I'm glad that it's not reflecting at all on him, and his character's importance in the overall landscape of what's going on. I do feel that we're going to see some U.S. agent, pushback later on down the line in the MCU.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Plus the cameo, which was very lackluster to the two of us. It did open up some pretty cool theories, but that's really all it really gave us, was just theories. There wasn't oh my god, they actually premiered this person. They showed
yeah. I mean, I was actually texting a friend of mine exactly that moment last night. I told them when they messaged me and they were like, "Did you watch it?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, of course I did. I stayed up late to watch it." They were like, "What did you think of the cameo?" And I was like, it was random. And for any person that's out there that's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it. You're a fuckboy." Like straight up, because that's like the deepest cut in Marvel history. Because like you'd have to be like a little bit older than I am maybe to really recognize this character. And if you're gonna go off and claim that you know exactly what this character is, like first off, it's like I told Trigger earlier, if you fall for the idea thinking that it's
A, but it's really B.
Yeah, if you think it's A, if you literally think it's A right now, that's exactly why you don't know who this fucking character is.
Yeah.
Like straight up. And you know what? It's catching other people too that read the comic books also too. So
because a lot of people are having to like go back and be like, wait, okay, I know this character. Like they're like, wait, I know this character, but why do I know this character? And that's why
dude, it's super fucking weird.
The same thing. A lot of the cameos that come out, that we see, a lot of the Easter eggs that we see, we recognize them. We know what they are. We identify them. It's just pinpointing exactly where we know them from, or how we know them, or the significance of it. Well,
I mean, dude, even
we have to be like, with, oh, what was that again?
Yeah, well, I mean, the idea is like, okay, so like straight up, me and Triggs are fans. Like we're like really bad with this. Like we have problems. That's why we have a podcast and we talk a fuckload about comic books. And it's not in the fact of like, I mean, you've heard us do it before where we'll just shoot out like some random memory and then, or you'll hear it from me where I'll be like, oh, that's that character. I think they're from this, or I'm going to reference that. And then Triggs will be like, hold on, let me check. And he's like, yeah, you're right. It's right around this year. And yeah, you got it right on the button. And it's like, yeah, like, I don't know why that memory is in my head, but it's probably because I read a fuckload of comic books on some time that I was super introvert before the coronavirus hit. And that's the thing. Like, even for us, when this character was introduced, we were like, for me, I was kind of like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, I was okay. During the week, you'll see it. I'm very active sometimes on the Facebook page, and I'll post up like, what do you guys think? Who do you guys think? Let me know your theories. And then I'll sometimes be like, okay, well, here's my prophecy because I'm gonna make a prediction, a Nostradamus Marvel prediction. And for some reason, mine was Rage.
Yeah,
I was 100% thinking that it was
when
Rage.
you threw out Rage, I was like, wow, dude, I really think you're reaching with that one.
Well, the reason why is because he was prominent in the Sam Wilson change.
I know. That's why I was like, dude, I see it, but I don't, because right now he doesn't fit anywhere. Because
yeah, well, that's the thing is like, even whatever character that anybody was looking up, nothing fit.
The only way that I could have seen him fit is if you find out that Rage has taken the super soldier serum and he's one of the flag smashers that is just now being identified. So that's why I was kind of like, I think you're reaching. I see where you're reaching to, but I still think you're kind of grasping at straws right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was the reason why I kind of expected Rage is because almost similar to the Isaiah Bradley situation, right? Because right now Marvel's kind of using this idea that yeah, we need more black superheroes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, and they're mistreated. And I kind of wanted it to be where almost like the way it is right now in the 70th anniversary of Captain America in the comic books right now, Bucky, US agent, and Sam Wilson, of course, are going around the country looking for the shield. And they're running into a bunch of different people that are dressing as Captain America to somewhat save a part of their community. The first one was a gay person, which is something that was a nod to the LGBTQ community. Recently, it's now a black female, a black lady who ends up donning the Captain America genre. So that way, it's almost kind of showing that it's not just a mantle, but something like a symbol, right? That's the whole purpose of this whole thing. So a lot of the symbolism from the show is kind of correlating in the comic in a way. Mm-hmm. And I kind of wanted them to be like, okay, cool. Like, here's Isaiah Bradley. We all know that his grandson, which is the kid that's in the show, is eventually going to be the Patriot. But what if Sam was kind of like in the process of the way it was in this episode, where he's trying to find himself as that character, like as that hero, and with the symbol of the shield, that he's going through a community and he's kind of like, oh, well, I guess I'm in town. I can stop a crime. And he ends up running into this character that's like, hey, what's up? I know who you are. Aren't you the Falcon? Like, he knows him exactly who he is. And he's like, well, you inspire me too, because a lot of people don't know that Holiday, which is, I believe the kid's name is Elijah Holiday. That's Rage. He's actually like a 13-year-old kid. He's like the Shazam of the Marvel universe. And the way he got his powers is that he was just one day sitting in a creek, and the creek just got a bunch of like chemicals, almost like the Ninja Turtles. And the next moment he rose up and he was like just a built ass motherfucking 30-year-old black dude, but he was still a child. And then from there, he tells his grandmother encourages them to be Rage. And he ends up being like this street level, kind of like Luke Cage's superhero, who then later on goes to the Avengers and is like, yo, what's up? You need more black people in your regiment. And he kind of like makes this whole like shtick about how there's not enough representation in the Avengers. And then what happens is like, there is like a really weird story of like an energy sucking vampire. And then the vampire ends up coming out and saying, I can't even believe that you guys would hire or have a child in your team. And then that's when they realize that Elijah Holiday, Rage, is a 14-year-old at the time. And Captain America pulls him aside. Captain America's never been one to see racism. He's always been straightforward and he treats everybody equally. And he pulls him aside and he tells him like, hey, look, dude, like, I can't have you in the team because you're still a child, son. Like, you're still a kid. And it's not like the fucking DC universe where they see Shazam and they're like, well, you do have super strength. I mean, we could use you as, cannon fodder. You are a fucking little child and shit. But he ends up telling him he can't. But, Rage was still out there being a hero. And he kind of like, even for what it's worth, and for him being at such a young age, he had already stepped up for his community and his people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's why I kind of was like, hey, dude, like you first off, Marvel is really reaching for like having diversity characters. And Rage is a really good character, but it's just like Red Wing, right? The Mexican kid that's gonna be Falcon. He's the partner, the army guy. He's gonna be Red Wing. Like I guarantee he's gonna be Red Wing. So he's gonna end up being the next Falcon. He'll be the partner. I guarantee that's not gonna make its entrance in the show. Why? Because in the next movie, they're going to need to do a Captain America Falcon movie. And then that's when they're going to start introducing a lot of these characters. So
they have, I mean, they kind of already have like a Red Wing. And, you know, the original Red Wing was an actual like hawk.
Bird. Yeah, it was a bird. Yeah, well, it's the name of the thing.
You know, the little drone that he fucking shoots out.
But,
yeah, and I know that he has a like sidekick partner that, you know,
he wears green and yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, you know what? As a matter of fact, I want to be able to talk a little bit of spoilers about it. So let's go ahead and play our spoiler theme song. And then let's jump back in and we're going to do a Winter Soldier episode 5 recap, but spoilers edition right after this song. So give us a minute.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we
go. Alrighty, and welcome back. Here we go, guys. We are going to be doing now the recap of episode 5 for the Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, with spoilers. So if you have not seen the show and you don't want to hear any spoilers of it or any recap or anything about the cameos or anything that might confuse you, if you're not about that, come back, listen to this episode after you watch the episode, and we'll see you guys when you return. But for now, let's get at it. Okay, so let's get to the first part. First off, we have the introduction of U.S. agent running from the scene. So it looks like it's not even that far from where it was. He gets to the warehouse and he has like almost like a PTSD moment, right? And there's that whole like, dude, I felt bad, dude, because I really, for what it's worth, I really liked Battlestar more than US Agent. Like as a person, I feel like he was the more grounded of both of them.
I get that, and for that exact reason, I thought he was a little bit more grounded than Captain America. Or John Walker, to be more specific. But and the reason that I also agree with that is because he spoke to John in the way that I've been spoken to before by like my leadership and stuff like that. You know, people who have been in a whole lot longer than I have. You know, like, hey man, you know, you do what you got to do, you know, and you do it with distinction. You do it with, you do it to the best of your ability. And sometimes, you know, you got to get your hands a little bit dirty, but like, that's the nature of the job.
Yeah. He's speaking to someone who just gets it.
Yeah. And
like he gets him and he gets the situation.
Yeah. And so, and you know, it happens. It's okay. Yeah. You know, like we don't hate you. John Walker, on the other hand, you know, like I don't see him as somebody who's suffering from PTSD. I see him as somebody who's torn between having to live up to the mantle of Captain America while being something that he's been his entire life, which is not necessarily out of the realm of Captain America, but outside of the realm of what Captain America kind of did. Now,
well, I mean, even in the aspect of it, right? Like at the end when they're at the trial and he's telling him, you don't know what it's like. You don't even know what it's like to be Captain America.
Yeah. And
like he knows, like he understands that platform because he had to like rush right into it. And I guess he realized that it's not that easy to just grab the shield and throw it and wear a costume. There is like a moral aptitude that you need to be above and beyond what everybody else is. Where like you have to be that guy who like that's the whole thing of what makes Captain America so amazing, dude. Is that he always finds a way. He always finds a way. No matter what, there's always a way. So it's like it's foreshadowed in all the movies practically when he's there with Iron Man and he's like, well, what if we're about to die? And he's like, well, we'll do it together and we'll find a way. Or even at the end of Endgame, when he doesn't know where his backup is, his entire team's done, everyone's dropped, and he's like looking at his shield half broken. Thanos already fucked it up. And he just straps it on and he just starts walking out there knowing that he does not have any backup. You know what I mean? And then, of course, the Doctor Strange portals open up. You get the I am on your left. Like, he didn't know that was there. That was like a breath of fresh air for him. But he was 100% going to go out on that shield. That's like the Spartan way. You know what I mean? Super fucking amazing, dude. And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Wyatt Russell, he like portrays the weight of this character in such an amazing way. Like such an amazing fucking way. And then being alongside Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie, like when they all meet together and you see the correlation of Wyatt Russell, the US agent, right? John Walker standing there, like trying to justify his situation, right? And trying to come to terms in his own mind that what he did was the only way. And then you have Anthony Mackie, the Winter Soldier, Sam Wilson, like kind of like comforting him, saying, don't worry, we're going to take care of you. Like, let us help you. And then you got Bucky that's right there. That's like, dude, I'm ready to fucking knock you out, bro. I'm ready to give you some smoke, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And you can feel it, dude.
Bucky is like, and this is what I was talking about earlier, guys, you know, especially when I was like, bro, Daddy Pliskin, you know, so, you know, for anyone who is not aware by now, Wyatt Russell is Kurt Russell's son.
Yes.
All right. So, and Kurt Russell's, I think one of his most prominent roles ever is that of Snake Plissken, a character that was even rolled into the Metal Gear Solid series as Iroquois Pliskin, you know, and Solid Snake, you know, just the perfect espionage agent. For anyone who's never seen those two movies, you know, Escape from New York and Escape from LA, they are fucking amazing.
Yeah, they're fucking fun, dude. They're so much fun.
So good. So good. And there's actually a line, and it was super weird. I was saying it to my wife, you know, a couple of days ago, and I think the line, it's a quote that I think I've defined a lot of my life around, which is ironic, you know, from these movies. It's the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah.
And not to get too far off track, but you know, Snake Plissken speaks in a very like low rasp voice, like, you know, the name's Pliskin, blah 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 blah. You know, he has a very low registry on his voice, and so when he's talking to them, and you know, he looks up and he looks at Bucky and he's like, "You don't want to do this," and it just
God, that was
it, bro. And I was like, "There's fucking Daddy Russell coming out through his son, dude." Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, like, I heard it.
You know, straight up right there, dude. This guy right here, I don't know how to say his name, but it's so cool. Raiwan Cola. I love how violent a Disney Plus movie show has become. Bro, that, as a matter of fact, 100%.
Okay.
That fight scene between all three of these dudes was fucking-tacular. The action was amazing. There was that part, right? When US agent is on top of a Falcon and he's ripping off the arms or of the wings.
The wings.
And I swear in my mind, dude, that he was choking him to death.
That's what I thought too.
Like, I thought he was choking him, but yes, of course, like, he was ripping the wings off because, of course, he didn't want to kill he wanted to kill the bad guy. He doesn't want to kill the good guys. Like I think he understands that part of the job.
But he kind of loses it though.
Oh, dude, he loses it so bad.
He grabs his shield twice to do the same thing on both of them. You know, he goes in to crush them, and you know,
like
and you know, you see it. You 100% see it. You know, and Bucky and Falcon both coming out. You know, yeah, exactly. See, you know,
yeah, he tried to behead him like 4 times.
Yeah,
yeah, true, man, true. But like, man, dude, it was such a good fight. There were parts of it that I was kind of like, is U.S. Agent stronger than Bucky?
No,
it does feel that way in some parts.
See, and that's the thing that pissed me off, dude. And I hate. I think they just did this for like
dramatic effect.
Yeah, for the dramatic effect, the cinematography reasons and stuff like that. You know, I felt that like
I'm just gonna post these comments up while we're talking.
Yeah, go for it, man. You know, Bucky has outclassed Captain America on more than one occasion, not just in the comic books, but in this in the MCU. We've seen it happen. He can go toe to toe with Steve Rogers. You're telling me a guy who just now took the serum is probably a decent fighter in his own right, is given fucking a 100-year-old soldier the business? No,
I don't know. It's a good question, man. It's a really, really good question. Kyle asks a really good question. Is it because the serum is still fresh in John Walker? Is it because he just recently got it that adrenaline and that vibe is still there? And maybe it's like almost like a testosterone shot or something.
The only thing that I can think of is that as the Winter Soldier, and I'm going to say Winter Soldier, you know, like as Winter Soldier, he wasn't holding back, you know, and when you're not holding back, you kind of allow yourself to hit harder.
Oh, dude, because he fucked those guys up in Madripoor, man.
Yeah.
Dude, you know, he fucking, he was killing those dudes practically in Madripoor.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, he was hurting, you know, like that was classic, you know, Winter Soldier. Like, okay, I'm putting this back on, but dude, do not.
And you know what? The other thing I want to chalk it up to is the fact that he doesn't quite know how to control himself with this new power either.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be equivalent to like in the last episode when he meets that dude in the hallway for the first time and he throws his shield and it like fucking goes in like halfway into the wall, into a brick wall. Yeah. Like you can tell 100% that if that would have hit that would have killed that motherfucker, man.
Oh, for sure.
That would have killed that dude in a heartbeat. So I guess I'm chalking it up to the idea of like he's barely learning how to control how much output that he can do before he kills somebody.
Mm-hmm. Which
since like, Bucky's a super soldier also, he could take it. But it was very weird to see Falcon kind of like standing toe to toe with some of that shit.
I'm not going to say that he was standing toe to toe. He was getting it, you know, but the thing is that like in this particular instance, like he has a weapon system that he's very familiar with and something that, you know, he's gone against aliens who, you know, are probably easily just as strong as Captain America is.
Yeah, that's what I chalk it up to also. I kind of like for the moment, I don't look at it for what it's worth. Like, I don't be like, man, continuity, he doesn't have powers. Like, he can't do that or whatever.
Yeah, no, like this is pure cinematography. I accept it. I get it. And, you know, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You know, like it was an amazing fight. I got a lot of Civil War vibes a little bit where they're kind
dude, definitely. Fuck yeah, dude.
You know,
I even got that in the last one with the knives and stuff with Bucky.
Yeah, a little bit.
Even U.S. Soldier or U.S. agents like, dude, what's with all the knives?
Yeah.
Like, I like that he makes a stupid comment.
Yeah, honestly, I love that. You know, like, what is with the knives?
I like,
Jesus.
That's what I kind of was feeling like very sad for John Walker's character. And I like the way Wyatt Russell played it. Is that there was that weird, like, innocence to him. Like, you know, with that, like, what's with all the knives? Like, kind of like lost in it. Like, what the heck, dude? Like, why do people have so many stupid knives? And then when he meets the Wakandans for the first time and he's like, oh, hey, what's up? And then touches her shoulder and just starts like World War 19 with her. I like his innocence that he just like he was a soldier. Like he's straight up military. Like if you put him in a military background, he's gonna feel comfortable. But in a superhero background, he has zero experience. So like in any situation, Zemo makes a comment, he's like, "You shut up." And then the other guys are like, "Yeah, he's right. Like you shut up. Like we're gonna make a little quip at you." But John Walker's just so like hard about it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, dude. You know, he's super serious about it, which I mean, I understand. You know, like he's
that's his role.
Yeah, he's a soldier.
Yeah, that's his role.
Like there's a difference, and I saw this meme, and you know they were trying to explain the difference between Captain America and John Walker, or Steve Rogers and John Walker. You know, one being a good man and the other being a good soldier. And
yeah, I can see that.
And there's a clear difference between the two.
But yeah, dude, this is 100% the.
I knew a lot of good soldiers. Very few of them were good men.
I mean, this goes back. This is a really, really, and I keep saying it, like the Falcon and Winter Soldier show are very deep cuts to the Captain America franchise, and just the idea of the symbolism of what Captain America is, and the stories that have followed his character throughout the series. The character of U.S. Agent or John Walker is very correlated with that one guy that was chosen, that was almost in line to be Captain America in the first place.
Oh yeah,
it literally always correlates to that one person, and then later on, it's just they did not choose him, even though the military wanted to choose that guy because he met all the physical requirements and met everything that they wanted as a good soldier. The doctor didn't choose him because he didn't have a good heart. And the thing is like Steve Rogers did not have the ability. So what he had was a lot of heart, corazón, which is like when you're a good boxer, a fighter, and you go in there and you suck, but you just keep going and you want to go out on your shield. Like that heart is very, very prominent in what Steve Rogers was.
For me, I always attributed that to Forrest Griffin. I thought Forrest Griffin was somebody who had a lot of heart when he fought. I don't think he was a really good fighter, but he was one of my favorites because, man, when he got out there, he gave everything in all of his fights.
Hey, dude, this guy says you look like John Krasinski, dude. That's so funny. I mean, I could see it. John Krasinski, that's so good.
Hey, someone call me John Krasinski. I love this guy.
That's super funny, dude. Well, thank you very much for the compliment.
Because I love John Krasinski.
Yeah, thank you for the compliment. Yeah, dude. I think Kyle mentioned it earlier, but for what the serum does is it maximizes and it kind of multiplies a person.
I'm gonna tell you, Ricola, I'm super sorry, man. I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's just the beard. I guarantee you it's just the beard right now, and the fact that like I have some stock on my shoulder right now, and that's it. Although
we might see Trigger audition for the Fantastic Four, man. I don't know. Oh, that's super funny. Yo, but straight up, like, okay, so we understand that the doctor from back in the day from the Captain America movie says it really does it multiplies a person's characteristics.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is John Walker is a great soldier and he gets the job done, which means he's aggressive. He's aggressive to get the job done. And that's exactly what it's done with his character. And Wyatt Russell, the son of Kurt Russell, has portrayed this character to a T, man.
He has been
amazing.
The perfect John Walker.
Yeah, straight up.
I'm not going to say that I cannot see anyone else playing this role because there are probably 100 different guys who can play this role just as well. But you know what? They gave him the character, they gave him the role, they gave him the chance, and you know what? He has knocked it out of the park. He has, in my opinion, earned his right to be in the MCU going forward as an anti-hero, a villain, whatever they're going to cast him as past this. Because I mean, they did the same thing with John Barenthal in Daredevil season 2. He was a straight villain, and then he kind of became a bit of an anti-hero, and then he got his own series and fucking yet again knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't lying, man. That's actually really, really solid. Yo, but straight up, probably one of
very much, man.
Pearly Whites. Pearly Whites. That's super funny. Yo, but straight up, the highlight and the star of this show to me so far is still Baron Zemo.
Oh, dude, yes.
like
His exit from this series was very, very touching. It was one of those that I do not see him being a villain.
Dude, well, that's one thing. His dancing was spectacular, and the funny thing is, like, I was watching this interview with him, and they were asking him, and they were like, "Dude, did you know that it was going to be that big of a hit?" And he's like, "Well, actually, I did that on a whim. Like, it wasn't even like asked for. I was just kind of like, you know what? Like, Baron Zemo's been sitting in a German prison for like a couple years. You know, he might kind of want to cut the rug a little bit." And he goes, "I 100% did it with the idea that it was going to get cut." He's like, he knew it was gonna get cut from the show, and he didn't know that they fucking kept it. And he's like, so now he's like, dude, I've been getting messages from like my friends with different beats, and they're just putting different songs to it of him dancing. And he's like, dude, it's the funniest. And then they asked him, yeah, so how do you feel knowing that the world likes Baron Zemo more than Captain America right now? And I was like, yo, that is the greatest question ever.
I think
because right now,
I think from a Marvel standpoint, from an MCU standpoint, that's exactly what he would have wanted.
Oh, dude, yeah, dude.
Like
the thing is Wyatt Russell himself. Okay, so we were talking about this last week, how the actor was very like kind of distraught that he was getting so much hate. But dude, I just saw an interview with him like today that was based off of 2 days ago, and he's like, "Nah, dude. I mean, that's what I'm supposed to be."
Yeah.
Like he's like, I'm not really upset. Like he's like, I don't have social media that much. So like for me not to have that, it's not me canceling it or anything. He's like, I just don't really get on too much. He's like, but that's what the character's supposed to be. You guys are supposed to hate him. Like if everybody hates him, I'm doing my job right. Yeah. And I was like, yo, I love this dude. He gets it. He gets it so well.
Like the guy who played Jeffrey Lannister in Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Dude, he quit acting because of that fucking role.
Yeah, and that's because he was like in what, Batman? He was like the son of.
No, he wasn't the son. He was
like a kid on a ledge or something.
Yeah, and he gives him the bat. Like, he gives him the fucking gun. He's like, oh my god, dude, my friends are never gonna believe this, and he fucking hands him his Gatling gun,
grappling hook or some shit.
Gun. Yeah, and he's like, they'll believe you now, and he fucking takes off, and I was like, well, fucking, that'll do it.
Yeah, dude, but yeah, Wyatt Russell's been fucking killing it as U.S. agent, and then a lot of people have been hitting me up about the whole like, did you see the post-credit scene? Did you see the post-credit scene? Okay, so yes, there's the staple idea that U.S. agent kind of snaps, goes crazy a little bit, makes his own shield, and then becomes U.S. agent, of course. That's been a staple in the comic books. If you ever go back to the comic books, he's been in a bunch of different adventures. He was part of the West Coast Avengers. He was part of he's just been a part of a bunch of different projects, man, a bunch of different organizations in the Marvel universe. Never really been a bad dude, but like that shield that he carries is constantly getting fucked. So like there's images of him in fights where the shield is melting, broken, dented, completely snapped in half. Like, but he just constantly just redoes it. I think he ends up becoming kind of like a U.S. agent through the United States military. He ends up being like I
think he gets like an energy shield at one
point. They end up doing something like that with him, and then they end up just making it to where like they just constantly like reproduce him a bunch of shields. Like they just kind of keep making them for him. So, him making it at the end was kind of interesting. And then him putting the medal that they gave him, like as they cut him from the military as a discharge. Like I kind of feel like that was pretty like deep cuts too. But speaking of deep cuts, Trigger, what did you think of that cameo? The Valentino one.
When I saw it, I was kind of just like, I guess. Okay.
Yeah. There was so a couple of days before I put up my theory on who it might be, and the reason why is because Marvel's really pushing on, like I said, a lot of minority characters, so I was expecting that. But I guess I was kind of expecting to like First off, to have a really good movie work for like the Winter Soldier and all these grounded characters, what you need for cameos is a lot of espionage characters. And if there's anyone that speaks espionage, it's this character.
Yeah.
Her name is like Valentina.
Yeah, his like Constance Valentina.
Yeah, it's some weird fucking name.
Yeah.
A lot of people, the first thing they do is because they'll get on Wikipedia or they'll go and jump on some site and they'll be like, she's Madam Hydra. No, she's not Madam Hydra. What she did was she was Madam Hydra for a remake of a comic book when they were trying to get the whole like Serpent Society back together, or like the whole entire like the old Hydra Council, which is like with that dude that turns people to stone and all of those dudes. But she was just portraying to be Madam Hydra to screw them over to help Leviathan. So
Yeah,
she knows
so
she was not.
like-
She I guess like
So yes, she was Madam Hydra. She carried the title of Madam Hydra. She
Yeah.
did it as a double agent.
as a
for
double
Leviathan-
agent.
As for Leviathan.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't want people to get confused by thinking she was Madam Hydra.
well, she was
like-
a Madam Hydra.
Yeah, she
There
was
has
just
been-
a
there's been like-
iteration.
yeah, there's been like 6
Yeah.
Madam Hydras. It's like the same thing with fucking Spider-Man. There's been like 30 of them. You know.
So like, so the first thing is a lot of people are going to correlate her to Madam Hydra, but in the very end of the comics, like when it comes to her portraying that role, she literally fucks Hydra over in the worst way. But she fucks him over so bad that her boyfriend goes and bails her out of jail like every time. And who happens to be the love of her life? Nick fucking Fury.
Yeah.
So
Which
like what's
is really
really
funny
crazy, and
'cause,
this is
like-
what I was telling Trigger earlier, is I kind of feel like this is going to be more of a femme fatale kind of reference, which I think 100% that she's actually working with Sharon Carter.
I can see that.
And I have a feeling, and it sounds very, very weird for what it's worth, but I have a feeling like Sharon Carter is the person that's going to be getting the Thunderbolts together. And I have a feeling like, okay, so she helped Carly out. She's the person that Carly said that she called because she needed a favor, which is to get the weapons to go into New York and go after the GRC or whatever, right? So that's the one. Carly called her, which means Sharon was her connection to rob the power broker. Okay? So from there, Sharon screws over the power broker to get power in Madripoor. Carly then calls Sharon now that she's on the run from the power broker. And then right here, just like Ricola says, we end up seeing Bartok the Leaper again, right?
Yeah.
From the first episode of the Winter Soldier and from the movies, the Winter Soldier movie, which is awesome to see George St. Pierre stretching his fucking acting chops. The guy's an amazing martial artist. And not only that, he plays Bartok the Leaper so fucking well. And the cool thing about Bartok the Leaper is like,
He's French.
yeah, he's French. But like, okay, well, not only that, but like Bartok the Leaper is like this really gray line of a villain. Because yes, he's bad, but he also helped Spider-Gwen be better. And he's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's very, he's not like a traditional supervillain. He's kind of like a dude that just wants to, you know what? Throughout all of this, the one reoccurring thing is it's very Deadpoolish. So the reason why I say that is because Bartok the Leaper goes to where the money is, right? He is a villain, yes, but he's a villain because he wants to make money. Like he wants to make money. That's all he's doing. Carly Montague or whatever her name is, the Flag Smashers,
Mhm.
yo, they get fucking reamed by Deadpool in the comics. Like Deadpool literally wipes out the entire Flag Smasher cult in the comic book. Like he kills them off. So like it's a very interesting concept that right now we are on the very, very edge of the Winter Soldier film or the Winter Soldier series coming to an end. We're coming to the next phase of the Marvel Universe, and Marvel just snagged Deadpool, right? So now Deadpool has an official team that in the comic book, he literally fuck starts all the way to the end. And now they're an official solid ass group with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where Flag Smasher used to be an individual and where this one hits an actual team of people. So like, I have a feeling like this is like a really subtle nod to them saying, hey, well, you know what? When we have Deadpool make his entrance into the MCU, he will already have a group of people that he can go against. And it not be like Hydra Bob and Hydra, not be AIM mechanics. It's literally the Flag Smashers. Like, I kind of feel like that's what it is. Like, it's a really cool intro.
For this new Deadpool movie?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, not technically them, but their group of people. Like, it gives them like a hand, like a group to work against. Hey, dude, if you go back and read it, he literally wipes out the entire group.
I know, but he's done that with AIM before. He's killed off AIM. He's
not the entire AIM.
Yes, he has.
No, because he literally wipes like the Flag Smasher team out completely.
He's killed the Marvel Universe twice.
Oh, dude, that is not even a great reference, Trigger. That is not a great reference.
Neither is the fucking Flag Smashers.
Yeah, but I mean,
neither is the Flag Smashers.
Okay, the reason why I say this is because, again, where do you go from here? Like, where do you go from here when it comes to the Flag Smashers? Where do you go from here when it goes to Valentina, whatever the fuck her name was, Nick Fury's ex-girlfriend? Like, where do you go from there? The only thing, okay, even with Sharon Carter trying to screw over the power broker, where do you go from there? So right now we know that someone is out there who is apparently has some kind of ties to Captain America, Hydra, Leviathan, the Serpent Society, that with this lady that they just introduced. And she's coming to get US agent, right? On the edge of Zemo being arrested by the Wakandans, where we know Thunderbolt Ross has no jurisdiction of even trying to get him back. So 100%, if they're even going to try the Thunderbolts, they will not get Baron Zemo from Wakanda.
Yeah.
We already got that. So the Baron Zemo character of him wearing the Patriot outfit with the fucking swashbuckler sword, this can probably be a weird nod of him saying, like, you know what, they may switch that out for US agent.
Which I can see.
Yeah, because then it would be the Thunderbolts, but them being very, very tight-lipped to the West Coast Avengers.
Which, honestly, is not out of the realm of possibility. How many times has the MCU changed something drastically from the comic book continuity? See, and that's the one thing that you and I always kind of get caught up on. Like, comic book continuity is one thing, MCU continuity is another. And we always kind of have to give them a lot of workaround space because these guys love to take liberties with certain things.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, dude, this goes back with the idea of what we were talking about. Sharon Carter, this is just theory, right? Sharon Carter screws over the power broker. She takes control of Magipore. Valentina Val works for her as her double agent or whatnot, because that's what Sharon Carter is. If Sharon Carter is anything, she's been like the super slept on espionage agent that's still out there doing justice. You have, think about it.
No. Actually, my epiphany was now actually going to roll into the Black Widow movie.
Well, that's what I was about to get to. So this is what we're talking about. The femme fatale idea would be Sharon Carter as the head, this chick Val as the other one, the new Anna girl, the Black Widow. Then that brings in Taskmaster, because Taskmaster is apparently supposed to be the mother character. It's not even a dude. It's supposed to be a female.
Yeah, I know.
So then if they bring her in, the Taskmaster will be in the Thunderbolts also.
Yeah.
So this kind of correlates with the idea.
I don't see the Thunderbolts coming together that soon.
It's early.
Yeah, this early. This is going to be like 3 movies in before they ever like put together the Thunderbolts. And that's even if they do. Now, like, I get why you want the Thunderbolts, because I mean the Thunderbolts was a cool team.
Yeah, that's about it. That's really it. Like, I just want to see Red Hulk. Like, if there's anything that really wants to kind of like touch base on is giving the Hulk a little bit more story from what they did in Endgame. Yeah, but I really doubt it.
Yeah, I do too.
I really doubt it. Like, that's like,
because if I remember correctly, I think Universal still owns his rights.
Yeah, they do.
And so like that's going to be a little bit of time before like they get them back. But that's not to say that they still can't use
Do something.
Yeah, do something with Thunderbolt Ross. But here's the thing, and this is confirmed. Oh, dude, Abomination will make an appearance in in She-Hulk.
Yeah, we just got that. Well, Oz jumped in right now, but yeah, it was in She-Hulk. Yeah, but that's the thing, is it's because of the fact, since Marvel does not own the rights to the Hulk story, they're gonna kind of do with She-Hulk what they wanted to do with the Hulk, because they own the complete rights to She-Hulk, so they get to do whatever the fuck they want with it. But then that goes off of the idea, like right now in the comic books, they're about to do World War She-Hulk, and it's kind of like, dude, like World War Hulk was a fucking masterpiece. And now you're going to try to take the same blueprint and just put it as She-Hulk. You have to be something a little bit more original to give them their masterpieces for their own characters. You can't just be fucking reusing the same shit over and over again. They did that with Amadeus Cho. Do you remember that?
Oh, dude,
when Amadeus Cho became the Hulk, they ended up sending him back to Sakaar.
Yeah.
And it was such a shitty comic book art. Like, it was bad, dude. It was fucking horrible. I didn't want to see Amadeus Cho go over there. He wasn't the chosen Sakaar king. Like, he wasn't the Hulk that was supposed to be there. And they tried to make it work, and it did not work. And now I kind of feel like they're going to do the same thing with She-Hulk, and it's not going to work. But if you end up taking the stories from the Hulk, like they did with the Hulk to Thor, like they did in Ragnarok, like that was a lot of liberty that they ended up using. So, but I mean, it did make it work. Thor Ragnarok was a fun movie. Would it have been as good as World War Hulk? Fuck no. Because World War Hulk to Planet Hulk was amazing. Planet Hulk to World War Hulk was an amazing comic book art.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
Comic book art.
Yeah, no, I mean, and just being, just from a story standpoint, World War Hulk and Planet Hulk was pivotal.
Yes.
We're talking like Civil War pivotal.
Yeah. It was huge for his character.
Like a lot of shit went down after the events of Planet Hulk and World War Hulk, and it was bad all around. Granted, a lot of those characters, one, aren't even in the MCU yet, and two, are not even alive anymore. So,
but you know what? Going off of things that I've always mentioned on the show, I could still see a huge kind of follow up to this story into like the Hydra captain.
See, I'm actually starting to think, and at first I was starting to agree with you. I'm starting to think is that they're coming away from Nazi Germany, and now they're going into communist Russia.
I mean, I can see that. I mean,
and the reason
the thing is they're not going to let Hydra just fall apart.
Hydra's done. They're not doing that much with it. They're not even doing all that much with it in the fucking comic books. If there was a rise in Hydra comic shit, we would be seeing it in the MCU reflected. It's gonna happen if it's in the comic books right now.
Well, the thing is like it happened.
Hold on. The thing is that one, we're about to get the Black Widow movie, in November, and now my only reason for even seeing Black Widow now, because I've almost lost complete fucking interest in this movie because it's been pushed back for 2 fucking years now, is the fact that she's Russian. She has a lot of Russian ties. She has ties to the KGB and Russian intelligence. Contessa, Valentina, Little Miss Madam Hydra Baker, is a KGB, is a part of Leviathan. Leviathan is the communist Russia answer to Hydra. So this is why I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to see a couple of things start kind of pulling in, where like I'm starting to see a little bit more communist Russia coming in a little bit, because you still need some sort of espionage with like the ground players, right? We're talking about Bucky, we're talking about Captain America, Captain Falcon, his new Falcon partner, and a lot of these ground level superheroes, the ones who like don't really go anywhere. So instead of since Nazi Germany is pretty much out of the picture, bring in communist Russia, and that
what if you're onto something? What if you're onto something, but instead of it being, yeah, man, instead of it being that, you know how we constantly kind of go back with the idea of it being the Thunderbolt Ross story? What if it's not that? Because we do know that they're doing a Don Cheadle Armor Wars.
Exactly.
So they're going to be bringing in Crimson Dynamo. They have to bring in Crimson Dynamo.
I really hope that they do.
Yeah, I mean, because if they do, wouldn't that be, what was the name of their group? Did they have like the Iron Curtain or the Red Curtain? Wasn't there a group of Russian supervillains that Crimson Dynamo was in?
Yeah. And dude, and I want to say even Omega Red was in it.
Yeah, he was. Whiplash, dude.
Yeah. See, and that's the Vankovs.
Mm-hmm.
Ivan and Anton Vankov, or Vanko, sorry. And he was originally Crimson Dynamo. He was like the Crimson Dynamo was Anton Vanko.
Yeah, that was the dude that they were talking about in the Iron Man 2 movie, right?
And he's fucking Russian, dude.
There's a lot of, you're absolutely correct. There is a lot of callbacks to the Russian community. Well, the Russian part of,
so that's why I'm kind of just like,
movies right now.
Okay, so what if they've done away with Nazi Germany? They've put that storyline to rest. And now what if they start moving into, communist Russia?
The Winter Guard.
There you go.
The Winter Guard. Yeah, man. I can see it like, okay, so going back to what we were talking about, I know we don't got a lot of time. I don't want to keep this going for too long. We're already at 2 hours. And that's because, we still need to talk about what was in the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? The thing is in the comic book line, I would say that the death of Hydra really came from the Hydra Captain America storyline.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it really fell apart. We're in the movies right now. If I'm not mistaken, the Winter Soldier story was very similar to that because it was the tearing apart of S.H.I.E.L.D. being Hydra.
Yes.
Right? Because then even in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they did an entire series that was about Hydra being in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was in a computer mainframe.
Yeah, the Dreamscape, right?
Yeah, the Dreamscape. And Madame Hydra was actually in that story. And it was Ava. Ava was the actual character that was it, which was also from the comic books. It's very interesting that you're talking about where like the Russian communication, right? The Russian bring together. Because we talked about this a while back where in the Ultimates comic book storyline, they have the Avengers comic book where they end up fighting the villain version of the Avengers. And there's like the main guy that's in it is like an Iranian guy who's like Captain Iran. Mm-hmm. And then we're talking about the introduction with this of the Weapon X program and them introducing all of these different characters, right? Mm-hmm. But we know that they pushed back this series and then they pushed back the Black Widow because there were going to be some things that were exposed in that situation from like, I guess they kind of were like, hey, well, you know what? If we release this too early, it's going to mess up the reveal in this movie and whatnot. So maybe that's what it is. Because we all know that from a bunch of leaks, the female villain or the female mother character that's in that story was apparently going to be Taskmaster. So we know that she is a character that is probably going to be very, very important to Madripoor. Because lo and behold, Taskmaster's like a frequent visitor and liver of Madripoor. Like he's constantly there. Yeah. So like even when Sharon Rogers was on the phone talking to Bartok the Leaper, and I didn't get it at first who she was talking about, I literally was thinking like, okay, I doubt it, but this could be Patch, which was Wolverine when he was living in Madripoor, or it could be Bartok because there is a comic book series where Bartok is in jail in an Iranian or Algerian prison. And it also is referenced in the Winter Soldier where he's like in a non-safe house. But Taskmaster was something that I was like, is it Taskmaster? Is she calling in Taskmaster for the last episode to help US Agent? And I was like, no way, dude. Like that'd be way too big of a character reveal for the last episode. Way too huge, dude. Because then if you end up finding out that they bring in Taskmaster, we should have been introduced to him already from the Black Widow movie release.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's why they keep pushing it back. And I'm not even gonna say reshoots. I'm thinking of this, and I'm thinking of this from a financial point. Is they kind of want
They want to make their money back.
they really want to make their money, so
Yeah, man.
they're trying to put it to where they're gonna get the largest
Theater money.
amount, the largest amount of theater money, and that's kind of I think what keeps pushing them back. I would really like to make sure that it does happen. I really do. Like I said, I have very little interest in this new movie, which is horrible because I've seen just about all of them on launch.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm not excited for this movie is kind of like,
It's disappointing.
yeah, it is. And it's not because like I think the story is stupid or I don't agree with any of it or I think the continuity blows. No, dude, you just pushed it back for 2 fucking years, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
You pulled a Death Stranding on me.
Yeah.
Like I don't care anymore because like you've given me nothing.
I can see that 100%. I mean, if you think about it, like the hype of Black Widow dying in Endgame and then getting some kind of like closure for her character by getting her own movie, like that ship fucking sailed a long time ago.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of like, all right, man. Like,
well, even with that, dude, like
really gonna have
we
to
even
like
talked about that Loki. We even talked about that Loki trailer where it kind of shows that the character looks like Black Widow from the Sokovian movie, where she's just sitting there and it looks like the city and the destruction in the back. And that would also correlate with the whole death scene of Black Widow. But I feel like since that's such probably going to be a minuscule part of the episode, I feel like that'll hit better than a whole movie dedicated to the character because you already know her future.
Yeah, but this I think was like a good closure because like they're gonna introduce they're gonna introduce the new Black Widow. Like you know, spoiler alert, I can almost guarantee you
the Anna Vodakova or whatever.
Yeah, is gonna be the new Black Widow. She will carry on as the new Black Widow. She's just as capable as her sister. Not quite as good, but is still just an excellent combatant. Knows what she's doing, is just as tactical and just as stealthy. She knows what she's doing. And you need somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing to come into this brand new team that they're gonna have to make and not be a complete fucking dingus.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can see that. But yeah, straight up, dude, like I think you're onto something. Like maybe they are pushing on more of the introduction of the Russian characters, and that's why they focus so much on making the Black Widow the premiere film of Phase 4. I think that's interesting. But you know what? Like, I know 100% that there's been a lot of talks about people, or not about people, but Marvel coming to Chris Evans about returning for his role as Chris Evans, and they do want to do the Captain Hydra movie. Because I keep going back to this because right now, 100% the show is trying to show that there is a dark side to the Captain America story. That like his level of plateau that we've created has been built on the memories of all these other people that have been legends before him. And then to have him return, like even like we just talked about this earlier off scene. Even if he came out as Old Man Steve Rogers, who is in charge of the Dark Avengers when he becomes Old Man Steve Rogers, who is still a very prominent character in the comic books when he becomes old. He doesn't just die. And that's been my biggest kind of like, what the fuck moment in the whole entire show is that it's always been about he's gone. And they constantly do it like he's dead, and he's not dead. He's just retired. Like he's just old. Like, but dude, we just saw it. Isaiah Bradley being an old man with the super serum could throw a fucking lighter through wood.
Yeah, dude.
Like I guarantee that dude being like 70 years old could still whip the shit out of 80% of the Avengers.
And you know what, dude? And every fucking old guy who hits you hits really fucking hard.
Yeah, the old man strength. And you know what? Ricola here says something very interesting that he's on the moon, right?
Well, that's from the original Sin.
You see, but then again, it's like Nick Fury's on Sword, right?
Yeah.
So that might be the thing, is that sword ship could be like the whole Steve Rogers being old right now. They could correlate him with the original Sin story instead of Nick Fury. And then from there, correlate the Hydra story.
What I can see, and you know what, like this would be kind of cool, and only because like everyone who's on the sword base right now is a scroll,
Yeah.
and they've mapped out the complete human genome better than
Than anybody
humans have.
else.
So they actually should theoretically be able to reverse his aging to
Oh,
get him
yeah.
his age back. So I mean, that could be a way that he comes back.
I'm dude, but even to shit on the idea of the Captain America, because I always do this to myself, where I'm really excited about seeing Chris Evans come back as Cap, because I just want to see Cap come back. It's 100% what it is. But like, they killed the Cosmic Cube. They already broke it. Like, it's already in pieces. Like, there's no way they're gonna get it from the Asgardian ship that fucking Thanos like smashed it all up into little crystals. So, yeah, man. I really like just on the idea of it. Like, it would be a really great. I think it's the next big arc for Captain America storyline, but they're going to correlate it more to Falcon than they are going to do it with Captain America. And then a good exit for the character, which would be diversity for the actor. Chris Evans himself as an actor, he would probably want to see that failure of Captain America become the villain, do something different with the role that's been different from the last 10 years, and then come back at the end and regroup his character back to being the hero. Which kind of like correlates with the idea of the Hydra story. But overall, episode for episode 5, Triggs, what do you feel? How do you feel about episode 5?
How do I feel about 10 out of 10?
I think it was the most emotionally grounded episode that they've had so far.
Yeah. As far as like emotional episodes go, that's obviously gonna have to go to last week's episode. Last week's episode was just a pure tug at the heartstrings. This one was a pretty like nice breath of fresh air after the initial, fight and relinquishing of the shield. And then he's talking to Isaiah Bradley, trying to really understand like what went on, and
the intro was
lit. Like he's trying to really understand, like where his disdain comes from. And, there's a lot of understandability from Isaiah Bradley that, he was like, why would any, self-respecting black man ever hold that shield, knowing what that shield represents?
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, I don't see it that way. This shield represents America, and I'm proud to be an American. Like they did not do that to him, so he does not have that same bitterness that Isaiah Bradley does. And he even states later on, he was like, if I was in his position, I'd probably feel the exact same way. So right now, I kind of feel that there's a bit of naivete when it comes to Sam's character in understanding like who Captain America or what Captain America truly embodies. And it's not just the American people, it's not just the the stars and stripes and bleed on the red stripes to keep it red. You're defending those who can't defend themselves, and when everyone keeps beating you down, you get right back up and you just keep swinging. You don't give up, because if you give up, then everyone else is going to.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a hell of a point. So what are your theories for the next episode?
I think dude, it's really hard to say, man. And the reason being is because like we're looking at Bucky kind of really making peace with a lot of the things that he had done, like with Zemo and stuff like that. And I thought it was really touching with what him and Zemo did. And he was like, look, man, I don't hate you for this. So I took the liberty of scratching my name off of your list, and no hate. You did what you had to do. I get it. And you know, he walks away. I do not think that Baron Zemo will be a villain. It just doesn't feel like that.
I mean, if you think about it, he's not. I don't know how to technically put him in the comics either. Like in the recent years, like.
Well, they haven't really done anything with him in the past like 10 years.
But even with that, like even with the last 10 years, like if you go back to it, the only time that he was ever a villain was that old Silver Age Captain America shit, where it was that World War II Hydra Nazi shit.
Yeah.
When it really changed was when Cap came back from being old, and a lot of these characters were kind of like even the Red Skull was making like almost like Saturday night groups for Hydra, like almost like small little like even right now, like there's a big controversy because Red Skull is more of like they referenced him as Jordan Peterson in a recent comic book where he's kind of like on YouTube and he's kind of like giving like speeches and he's kind of turned more into like a political figure, like the Red Skull. This is the dude that was like in charge of the Nazi regime during World War II. Now he's like a YouTubing politician or whatever.
Yeah.
And Baron Zemo's kind of like this dude that's like, he's been all over the place in the Marvel universe. And I feel like this story and the portrayal of him in the comic books is almost like a rejuvenating fresh of breath air when it comes to his character. Like I love his character even more. I'll go back and read comic books of him right now, like just to read it in the way that this guy's playing it. You know what I mean? Like this is awesome. If they continue the comics with these type of characters, I'd read it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like I would read it in a fucking heartbeat. Even Bucky, dude, the Winter Soldier's character has been so up and down in the last couple of years. And Sebastian Stan's portrayal of his character, fucking phenomenal, dude. I swear, dude, that this guy deserves an Emmy or an Oscar for the beginning episode of episode 4. Like he deserves an award when he's there in the you're free scene.
Oh, it was beautiful.
That was, dude. That was even the therapy scene in the first episode. Like just everything he's done. Even the dude, man, even the interaction between him and Falcon's sister.
Oh,
like, dude, that was so fucking funny, dude. It was so good. Like everything about it was so good. And then even like the counseling scene with him and the Falcon was really good.
Yeah.
When they're talking to each other in the yard and they're kind of like throwing the shield to each other like brothers or like a father and son.
Yeah, man, they're playing catch. You know?
Yes. Yeah. Did you get that vibe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that 100%. It felt like a father-son kind of moment.
Yeah.
Or like a brother figure. Yeah, and they're just catching it, tossing it at each other. Like
I love how Sam only does one. He'll like boom and then Bucky will catch it and then Bucky will do 2.
Yeah.
Bing, bing, and then he'll catch it. And like it was kind of just to show you like, hey, I could show you how to use this thing.
So I think in the next episode, of course, we're going to have a reveal of the Captain Falcon outfit, which I'm super fucking hyped about. Because just to see him with the shield and the colors, I'm going to be super blown away by it. I've been waiting for that for so long. I think this is going to be a very, very good way of him kind of finding himself in society, where everybody just saw the Captain America they chose fail miserably and then do something that was super horrible and then fail at the courtroom. And then, it's almost like the government failed him. And then to see Falcon pick up the shield in memory of what he believes it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And like at the very end, like, I don't think he's going to kill off the Flag Smasher character, Carly. No. I believe he's going to save her, but someone else is going to kill her. Like, I feel like, like US agent's going to kill her or someone else, because someone needs to get the job done. If there's one thing that's resonating is Zemo says there's no way she's crossed that line. And Bucky, you're the only one that can do this. And Bucky's like, dude, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. Like, I'm not going to do it. And then Falcon's going to be like, you don't have to, because we don't have to. And then US agent's going to come in and be like, no, I have to, because I have to do with what I lied to this guy's family about. I have to kill the person that killed my friend. And then when he kind of kills her off, he's going to kind of take off like the way he did, like the way Zemo did in the Wakandan fight scene. And then that's when he's going to hook back up with that lady. Like, dude, yeah, like right there. Like, look, Ricola even says it right here, man. Like, oof, when he lied to the parents.
Dude, that was
fucking horrible, man. I felt that so horrible on the inside. Like, I felt so horrible, man. And then like I feel like Carly's gonna know that Falcon is what she was wanting for help. That he's exactly what she wanted. And then US agent's gonna come and fucking kill her. And that's, man, I hate that because I think Erin Kellyman is such a great character. I think she's such a great character. Like her portrayal of the character of the Flag Smasher, like it can pull its own weight. Like for a while, like Bartok the Leaper. If not, I feel like Bartok's gonna snipe her out, and that's gonna be the power broker's thing for Sharon Rogers.
You know, I can see that really happening. That Bartok.
You know what I mean, right? Like there's a little bit of, like, I know there's gonna be something that's foul that's gonna happen at the end. Because it can't end on a good note. Because if it ends on a good note, then it's a final series and it doesn't get you hyped for what comes next. It's got to leave you like on some kind of cliffhanger. And that's what I feel. You'll get the cliffhanger of Falcon wearing the costume. You'll get him to come in and hold the shield, but he fails. And then someone comes and finishes the job, which then becomes a villain-like character or goes into the next scene and loads up. I feel like we won't get much for Bucky in this. I feel like we're going to get him showing up to that old Asian guy's pad from the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the old man? And he's going to tell him like that he's sorry for what he's done. He's going to tell him about his son, or the guy's going to pass away before he gets there. And he's going to like feel like he should have, like he's going to learn his lesson that he needs to just be about helping people. Like that's what I kind of feel. So, So, guys, what do you guys feel about your guys' theories for the last episode? It's coming up next week, guys. We're super fucking excited. I can't wait. Don't forget tomorrow, Jake Paul and Ben Askren. Go ahead and put up your predictions for that as well. Super hype. Can't wait for the ending, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We appreciate you guys so much. And thank you guys. That was so crazy with the Twitch raid. I didn't know we were that into Twitch right now.
Man, I'm glad we are, man.
Thank you for, what was it? The Salomon crew, or what were they?
Yeah, the
Salamanders.
The Sardine Gang.
The Sardine Gang. Thank you guys so much for raiding in and jumping in with us. We hope you guys like the show. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in with us on another Friday night. Guys, remember to take care of each other. Tell someone you love them. Wear your masks. Be safe. Take care of each other. And we'll see you guys again next Friday, 9 p.m. here on the Average Voice Podcast. Facebook, don't forget, guys. Also, if you can, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google, wherever you listen to any kind of podcast shows. Look us up, check to see if we're on that podcast, and give us a follow. The numbers do help us out. It's really awesome when we get to see our statistics and downloads of our podcasts that are going on, even when we're not live. So, guys, again, thank you so much to all our listeners. Thank you from YouTube and Twitch for jumping in. We appreciate you guys. And we'll see you guys again next Friday, 9 p.m. here on the Average Boys Podcast. See you guys later. Peace.